Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Emotionless Naruto was in Highschool DxD. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by FanFickFreak6669 and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. That's it for now. Enjoy reading and forgive any atrocious grammar spelling mistakes you may find on your way. English is not my native language. Uzumaki Naruto was a lot of things. He used to be an outcast. A dead last. A scapegoat for the problems of someone else. He was loud, brash, dense, clueless and not very bright to say the least. He was not a prodigy, he wasn't gifted in any particular shinobi skill. It could probably be said that he became a shinobi only for the acknowledgement he desperately sought. But he was also a man that never gave up. A beacon of light for others. A fighter. Someone who never went back on his work. A person who wanted to prove that you can get anywhere if you work hard enough. He was a shinobi, a jinchuriki, a sage, and would have been a hero if he had succeeded. Now he was nothing. Naruto was watching all the students going about their business as he rested comfortably against a tree. He watched as they laughed, ate and talked among each other. It was currently break time at Kuo Academy and Naruto had no clue what to do. You seem to be spacing out a lot lately. A deep voice echoed beside him. Naruto cast his eyes sideways to see a ghost-like apparition sitting next to him. It was a man with long black hair dressed in red armor, similar to what the samurai wore back in their day. This was a man whose name was feared back in the elemental nations. A man who fought toe-on-toe with the founder of the first hidden village, a man who could tame tailed beasts with just looking at them. This was Uchiha Madara. "Nah, I'm just thinking," Naruto replied as he looked forward again. Naruto and Madara weren't exactly the best of friends. When they first saw that they both were stuck in this new bizarre world, they had tried to kill each other. However, they soon discovered that Madara didn't actually possess a physical body and was bound to Naruto, kind of like he was sealed inside him. As they could not kill each other, they had tried to get along. Their current relationship was based on feelings of mutual respect and acceptance. And since they were stuck together, they might as well make the best out of it. "You know we've been watched lately, right?" Madara asked as he narrowed his eyes slightly. "Chan. You mean those two, don't you?" Those two in question were leaning on a wall a few meters away from Naruto and Madara. Naruto recognized them as Hayato Issei and Kibayudo, both second-year students and member of the so-called occult research club. They were currently talking to each other, almost whispering, and were throwing suspicious glances towards Naruto's direction. "We should be careful, Naruto, I sense a strange energy coming from them, it is almost like they aren't human," Madara said as he tried to run his hand through his hair, only for his hand to phase right through him. Naruto sighed as he closed his eyes. "Yeah, those two are definitely different. And the way they're looking at me," Naruto said as he cringed slightly. "Well, it isn't really strange. I mean, when I'm talking to you, it looks like I'm talking to myself. Maybe they're thinking that I'm shizo. Schizophrenic, Naruto." "Yeah, exactly that." Naruto opened his eyes and looked toward Issei and Yuudo. He caught Yuudo's gaze and the two stared at each other like time had frozen. Naruto's eyes briefly flashed red and immediately averted his gaze after that. Yuudo's eyes widened as he nudged Issei to come with him. Madara sighed in annoyance as he saw what Naruto just did. "Don't go showing your powers like that, you imbecile. For all we know, they might be our future enemies. We should come up with some kind of plan to deal with them." Madara finished as a concentrated look appeared on his face. Naruto snorted and rolled his eyes. "Please, last time you came up with a plan you tried cast a genjutsu on the moon. That didn't exactly end well." Madara turned his head towards Naruto and narrowed his eyes dangerously. "Oh, you're one to talk. At least I didn't spend half my life jazzing after some kind of gender-confused emo child. At least I didn't leave my fucking village because I got friendzoned by Hashirama. You whiskered freak. Red-eyed maniac. Stupid shinobi that can't do anything without his foxy friend. Useless fodder that got one-shotted by Zetsu. Fuck you. No, fuck you." Needless to say, these feelings of mutual respect were often disregarded. "So you didn't find out anything new?" Issei shook his head in response to his Boku's question. He and Yuudo were originally tasked to find out more about Uzumaki Naruto, a mysterious third-year student that had appeared about nowhere. No heritage, no address, no phone number, there was literally nothing they could find about this enigma. Ria sighed as she leaned back in her chair. She had detected a mysterious energy within Naruto, and assuming that it could have been a sacred gear, Ria's wanted to find out more about this mysterious boy to see if he could perhaps be a nice addition to her peerage. "Actually, I think I may have seen something." Ria's head turned towards Yuudo, and she waited for him to tell what he had seen. Her expression was calm, but on inside she was excited, craving for information. She wanted to find out more about this Naruto and would not rest until she had. Well, Hayato-kun and I were observing Naruto, he actually caught me looking at him. This gained Ria's attention immediately. He just kept staring at me and I stared right back at him. I wanted to look away, but I just couldn't. Yudo looked down briefly, as if he had been reminded of a bad memory. Then I saw it. His eyes were red and there were small black dots around his pupil. That was all I saw before he stopped looking at me. Riaz folded her hands under her bust and looked down on her desk. She had never heard of a power like this. There were sacred gears that were used through eyes, her bishop sacred gear was a prime example. But she had never heard of these red eyes with black dots around the pupil before. Naruto had just gotten a lot more interesting than he already was. Riaz felt some kind of feeling that made her want to chase after this boy. Maybe it was her interest in making her peerage stronger, maybe it was something else. Issei snorted and slightly nudged Yudo in the side with his elbow. Come on, pretty boy. You can't just start making things up so you can just get Baku's approval. Biba frowned. I wasn't making anything up. Issei put his hands in his pockets and looked away. Of course you didn't, pretty boy, of course you didn't. Biba and Ria's sweat dropped at Issei's behavior. Riaz then closed her eyes and took a calming breath. Well, it wasn't much information, it was still better than what they had before. You two aren't going to do any contracts tonight. Issei and Yudo looked at Riaz with confused looks on their faces. What are we going to do instead? Are we going to kick some stray devil's ass or something? I've been waiting to test out my bad sacred gear. Issei finished as he flexed his arm. Riaz smiled slightly at Issei's eager behavior. No, you two are going to shadow Naruto tonight. Yudo nodded while Issei's face faltered. Oh come on Butchu. We've been stalking this dude for weeks and we haven't got anything useful. Issei whined. Well, Issei, Riaz started as she stood up from her chair and walked over to him. I'm sure that if you do your job well, that you'll be rewarded handsomely, Riaz said as she stroked Issei's cheek. Fire was now burning inside his eyes and with newfound strength he pumped his fist into the air. Yosh. I will follow this Naruto to the end of the world if I have to. Cause you better remember, those op-I are going to be mine. Riaz smiled awkwardly and patted Issei's cheek. That's a good devil. Naruto sighed as he kicked a stone along the path. It was now in the middle of the night and Naruto was walking home from his job and he was extremely bored. The bored Uzumaki Naruto is never a good thing. What to do? Naruto sighed once again, enjoying the cool breeze. It had reminded him of those nights he used to spend on the Hokage monument, looking down on Konoha, playing tag with his shadow clones on Tobirama's head, just sitting and thinking about absolutely nothing as he sat on his father's head. Naruto smiled at the memories. Those were the good times. Unknown to Naruto, Issei and Yudo were standing behind a wall, following him. Yudo was leaning against the wall, while Issei had taken a more professional approach to their spying and was holding 2 tree branches in his hands and was wearing a hat made out of leaves. Yudo sighed in frustration as Issei was doing weird poses to blend into the environment as he had put it. Yudo's eyes widened as Naruto suddenly froze in his steps. Yudo quickly grabbed Issei's collar as he pulled him into the bushes. What the hell, pretty boy? White. He stopped walking. Yudo hissed as he looked towards Naruto. Issei's eyes widened as he looked at Naruto, who had still not moved. Yudo's brow furrowed. This would be a chance to get answers and he would not let it slip. So you're not one they told me to after. You don't look like much. Issei and Yudo turned towards the source of the voice. Their eyes widened in horror as they saw who it was. That's the same fallen angel that attacked me. Issei whispered. He turned towards Yudo and gripped his shoulders. We have to help him. He won't stand a chance. But you told us not to interfere. But. Orders are orders, Hayato-kun. Yudo hissed. Issei gritted his teeth and clenched his fists tightly. He may not know this Naruto guy, but he couldn't just stand here while he would get butchered by a fallen angel. He had been in the same position as Naruto and being killed by a fallen angel wasn't really something to look forward to. Yudo however had narrowed his eyes as he looked down. Why did Riaz tell them not to interfere? Did she know that Naruto was being targeted by fallen angels? Was this some kind of sick plan to reincarnate him as a devil and put him in her peerage? Issei's and Yudo's attention was soon caught by the fact that Naruto had just turned around. He had rather boring look on his face and still held his hands in his pockets. Who the hell are you? Naruto asked. Oh, how rude of myself. The fallen angel said as he bowed slightly. I am Donaseek, a fallen angel. I think it's only fair to know your executioner. Donaseek said with a chuckle. Naruto just rose a brow at the fallen angel's response. Well Fedora guy, I'm kinda tired and stuff, so maybe you can fuck off and go bother someone else. Issei's and Yudo's jaw dropped. This boy was standing in front of a supernatural being that could probably kill him in a blink of an eye and he wasn't even scared. Donaseek's eyes narrowed at the boy. Such vulgar language, and I wanted to make your dead quick and painless, it's a shame really. Donaseek then formed a light spear and threw it at Naruto. Naruto's eyebrows rose up as he sidestepped and evaded the spear. The ho-ho, Fedora guy is throwing things around now. Your aim is a bit off. Naruto taunted. Impossible. No human should have the reflexes to dodge the Donaseek shouted with rage evident on his face. Naruto chuckled. Well, I'm not your average human. Naruto charged at Donaseek, who in response threw 3 light spears at him. Naruto dodged the first 2 but was hit straight in the chest by the third one. Issei's and Yuuto's eyes widened in horror and Donaseek smirked victoriously. His smirk disappeared as soon as it came when he saw what had actually happened. The Naruto he hit had disappeared in a puff of smoke. Let me tell you something, my dear Fedora guy. Donaseek slowly turned around and saw that Naruto, completely unharmed, was casually leaning against a wall. Issei and Yuuto sighed in relief. Donaseek on the contrary, wasn't as happy as they were. How? You know, I have some pretty flashy things I can do, just like you can throw your fancy spears. Naruto started as he slowly started to walk towards Donaseek, a grin growing on his face. But you're not really entertaining to dance with, so I'll finish you quickly. Donaseek now had an expression of pure rage on his face. How dare you make a mockery out of me, you filthy human. I will annihilate you. Donaseek shouted as he started to from an extra large light spear. He then realized something. Naruto was already gone. Donaseek screamed out in pain as he felt something wrap around him and starting to crush him. He turned his head to see Naruto with a black aura around. A black skeletal arm was growing out of his shoulder and was holding Donaseek. Pop. The hand started to apply more pressure on Donaseek's body. He was trying to squirm out of the hand's grip but to no avail. He looked at Naruto in absolute horror and saw that Naruto's eyes were red with a pinwheel-like shape where his pupil was supposed to be. Those? No, please. Release me. I can give. The weasel. The hand then crushed Donaseek, leaving his broken and bloodied body. Issei and Yuuto were just watching, wide-eyed and slack-jawed. Was Naruto actually still a human? Naruto sighed as he walked over to Donaseek's corpse. Not much of a talker now, eh, Fedora guy? Naruto chuckled dryly and kicked the corpse slightly. Yuuto watched on carefully when he saw the space around Naruto slightly deform and take on the shape of a spiral. Is that some kind of spell? Yuuto thought as he observed Naruto. The spiral started to spin faster as Donaseek's body was sucked into Naruto's left eye. After the body had been completely sucked in, Naruto's left eye started bleeding slightly and both his eyes reverted back to their normal blue color. Naruto wiped the blood on his face away with his sleeve and sighed once again. He then turned around to walk away but stopped after taking a few steps. It would be really bad if someone would have seen this bloody mess. Naruto stated in an annoyed tone. Issei and Yuuto were completely frozen. Had he caught them? Did he already know that he was being followed by Theme before the fallen angel had even arrived? Their questions were not answered as Naruto calmly walked away, whistling a tune like nothing had happened before. Yuuto's eyes were completely glued onto Naruto's form until he disappeared out of sight. Yuuto and Issei did not know what to do. They sat there in the bushes, silently thinking about Naruto. That was until Issei broke the silence. Well, shit. Sweet. Fucking. Home. Naruto let himself fall onto the bed, tired of all the events of today. He knew that there was something strange in this world, but he had not expected to be filled with angels, fallen angels and devils. He already knew that something was wrong with that little occult research club back at school, but he couldn't tell what it was. After doing some extensive research on his phone while he was walking home, Naruto had found out that the school was actually owned by a rather powerful devil family, the Gremory family, which coincidentally the leader of the occult research club was part of. You made quite a show out of that, didn't you? Madara said as he appeared inside Naruto's bedroom. His black-winged buddies will now know not to fuck with the great Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said with a proud grin. And besides, what should I have done? I wouldn't want that fucker to stick a light spear in my gut, how would I eat my ramen? Naruto asked himself in a horrified voice. Madara sighed frustratedly. I mean that you should have finished it faster, you idiot. You knew those the devils were watching you and yet you just had to use Susanoo. What's the point of having these fancy eyes if can't use the fancy jutsu that come with it? Naruto snapped. You should be happy I actually fought the man instead of just getting the fuck out of here. I mean, you're always nagging about how you want to have a good dance and shit. Naruto had now buried his hands in his face. This day had already been bad and Madara's scolding just made it worse. Madara huffed and crossed his arm childishly. It still wasn't a good dance. You know what, fuck you Madara, I'm going to sleep. Naruto changed into his sleepwear simple grey sweatpants without a shirt and climbed into bed. He knew he probably wouldn't fall asleep anytime soon with all these thoughts on his mind, but he couldn't help but grin. Life just got a hell of a lot more interesting. Naruto snorted as he woke up to the sound of the alarm. As soon as he sat up straight, the memories from yesterday flooded his mind. Issei and Yudo stalking him, that fallen angel that attacked him, finding out about the supernatural world, Madara being a douchebag. Naruto rubbed his eyes. I should really cut down on the drugs. You know it was all real, right? Madara said as he appeared inside Naruto's bedroom. No shit Sherlock, why do you always have to ruin everything? Naruto stood up from his bed and got dressed. He walked over to the kitchen and decided to have some cereal for breakfast. As Naruto was enjoying his food, Madara appeared again. So Naruto, are you going to join those devils? Madara asked as he leaned over the table slightly. Naruto almost choked on his cereal. Are you crazy? I got attacked by a fallen angel last night. If they're already targeting me, how am I going to deal with them once I join their life-sworn enemies? They could help us achieve our goal. Madara tried to argue. They don't even share our fucking goal, Maddie-chan. A tick mark appeared on Madara's forehead as Naruto called him by that infamous nickname. They're probably just doing what devils are supposed to do. They're not interested in peace. Naruto said in a quiet tone as he looked down on the bowl of cereal. Madara shrugged. We could always just use them, then dispose of them once they've done their share of work. Naruto was getting pissed at Madara's attitude. You can't just use people like that. Why would you work with them if you're going to kill them anyway? Naruto shouted. Why do you breathe if you're going to die anyway? Madara asked in a calm tone, unfazed by Naruto's anger. Naruto opened his mouth but quickly closed it again, not knowing what to say. Not wanting to continue this argument, he resumed eating his cereal again. Madara sighed. Look, Naruto. We both want peace, right? Naruto slightly nodded. While our means to an end may have been different, we still share the same goal. Humans are pathetic, we always talk about friendship and how you should help out each other. But once we look dead in the eye, we abandon all their friends and previous feelings and focus solely on their own survival. Madara finished before taking a deep breath. So what are we supposed to do now? We can't just kill people and claim that it was for the greater good. Naruto said. He knew that Madara had a point, but he wanted to pursue peace the way Jiraiya had told him to. By making sure everyone understood each other. Madara shook his head. When did I ever say that we're going to kill anybody? Madara walked over to the window, gazing down on the people that were walking the streets of Kuo. We're just going to manipulate, get them to share our goal. And don't say that manipulating people is a bad thing. In fact, you have manipulated people for your own good as well. Naruto narrowed his eyes. What do you mean, I manipulated people for my own good? Madara nodded. Nagato is a prime example. A man who had set his goals clear, a man who exactly knew how he was going to achieve peace. But he was stopped by a genin. Naruto argued. I was just trying to convince. Convincing, persuading, it doesn't matter. In the end you got him to do what you wanted, right? Naruto remained silent. Things aren't just black and white, Naruto. In fact, the world is built from a dull gray color. As long as there's someone who thinks what you're doing is not right, you'll be evil, no matter if everyone else thinks you're a good guy. Naruto finished breakfast without saying a word again. He walked to school still pondering over Madara's words. Was he good? Was he evil? Or was he actually none of those? It was once again break time at Kuo Academy. Naruto was sitting on his favorite spot under the tree, with Madara by his side. Someone's approaching us. Madara said as he disappeared, leaving Naruto alone. Naruto sighed as he looked towards the person who was walking to him. It was Yudo Kiba, one of the two boys that had seen his battle with the fallen angel yesterday. Hello there, Uzumaki-senpai. Yudo greeted with a smile on his face. Yo, Kiba-san. What's up? Naruto asked with a grin on his face. Yudo took a deep breath. As you may know, I'm part of the occult research club and our Butchu would like to see you after school. Naruto smirked. Is this about my little adventure from last night? Kiba gulped. Naruto probably knew that Rias wanted to approach him. Partially. Butchu Owls has an offer for you. An offer, huh? Naruto said as he assumed a over-exaggerated thinking pose. Tell her I have no interest in joining your little devil club. Naruto answered with a wide grin. Kiba's eyes widened. Why you know? Naruto had a confused look on his face. Know what, Kiba-san? Yudo gritted his teeth in frustration. He couldn't just start telling everything about his peerage in public. He then walked away from Naruto to report his results to Rias. Naruto's grin only grew wider as he watched Yudo walk off. He knew there was no going back now. Rias, our game is on. Yudo walked into the club room sweating bullets. He knew Rias wasn't going to be happy with Naruto's decision and he wouldn't want to know what she was going to do too with him. Ah, Yudo. Rias exclaimed as she stood up from her chair. Yudo noticed that Akeno was also there, standing behind Rias with that creepy smile of hers. So, did Naruto agree to come after school? Rias asked as she walked over to Yudo. Udo took a calming breath. He refused, but you. Riaz kept on smiling. I see. We'll have to. What did you say? Riaz asked in a deceptively sweet tone. Udo gulped. He said he didn't have any interest in joining our little devil club as he put it. Riaz's expression turned to one of anger. How dare he refuse me? Is this the game you want to play, Uzumaki Naruto? Well then, you got yourself a game. Riaz shouted as she stormed out of the club room. Udo's sweat dropped. Why does she want to have him in her peerage so badly? Bakendo giggled in her hand. Ara. Riaz is going to need all the help she can get in a short amount of time, Kiba-kun. Thank the sage, I would have survived in that classroom any longer. Naruto and Madara were currently walking back to Naruto's apartment. Little did they know that they were followed again. You need school, Naruto. You might not be as stupid as you were before, but… Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto and Madara slowly turned around to see a red-headed girl run towards them. Naruto's eyebrow rose up when he recognized the girl as Riaz Gremory, the evil mastermind behind the whole Let's Stalk Naruto plan. Riaz stomped over to Naruto and accusingly pointed a finger at his chest. You think you can get away from me, huh? After my pawn and knight saved you, you can't even show up just to talk. You owe me your life. Naruto seemed unfazed by Riaz's rant. Look, woman. Those two wimps you sent after me didn't do shit. I actually had to kill that fallen angel on my own, so I don't own you shit. Riaz's eyes widened after she heard her pieces had lied to her. Did they actually think they could escape her wrath? In case you still haven't gotten the hint, I don't want to become a devil. However, Naruto said as he stepped somewhat closer to Riaz. Riaz's brow furrowed. What? I guess we could work out some kind of agreement, right? Madara was now crying tears of joy because he was now completely sure that Naruto had actually followed his advice. That's my boy. Tame that woman like I tamed the Biju. Naruto's eye twitched slightly. Well, I don't have to be a devil to be able to help you and your club, right? I mean, you were originally interested in my power, if I recall correctly. Naruto smirked slightly as he activated his Sharingan. Riaz gasped as she reached out to touch Naruto's face. She observed his blood-red eyes, the three tomo dangerously spinning around his pupil. Incredible, she managed to mutter out. Can you take your hand off my damn face. Riaz snapped out of her stupor and immediately retracted her hand with a small blush on her face. I'm sorry. Since we're now going to work together, I think you should get to know me and my peerage better. Don't you think so, Naruto-kun? Naruto's eyebrow rose up. So it's Naruto-kun now, eh? He asked with a small grin on his face. Riaz smirked playfully as she nudged Naruto in the side. Oh, you know you like it when I call you that. Now let's go back to school so I can introduce you to everyone. Riaz said as she turned around and beckoned for Naruto to follow her. Naruto sighed and followed after her. Riaz was certainly a strange woman. Troublesome, as Shikamaru would have put it. And I thought I wouldn't have to go back to school today. Naruto sat down on a couch as he inspected the club room. It was designed with a Victorian-like style in mind. Naruto ignored everyone else in the room and patiently looked at Riaz, waiting for an explanation. Welcome, Naruto-kun. As you already know, everyone present here is a member of the Occult Research Club. This club, however, is just a mere facade. We're in fact all devils. Bat-like wings soon emerged from Riaz's back and the others soon followed suit. Naruto just kept on looking, slightly interested. I assume you are familiar with the game of chess, Naruto-kun? Riaz asked. Naruto nodded but was slightly confused. What the hell does that have to do with any of this? You see, every devil here can be associated with a chess piece. I am the king. Riaz then pointed at a raven-haired girl with her hair tied into a long ponytail. This is Akeno, she is my queen. She mainly specializes in magic and is my second in command. Akeno smiled sweetly at Naruto. Ara. I hope we can get to know each other better, Uzumaki-kun. Likewise, Akeno-san. Naruto said with a grin. Riaz sighed at her queen's behavior. Next up is my knight, Kiba-Udo. A knight specializes in speed and Udo here also possesses a sacred gear. Naruto gained a confused look. Sacred gear? He asked. Riaz nodded. Sacred gears are special items bestowed upon humans by God. Everyone except Naruto seemed to flinch slightly at the word God. They possess unique powers that prove extremely viable to both humans, devils and angels. Naruto nodded and turned his head towards Udo. Udo smiled in return and bowed slightly. I hope we can get along, Uzumaki-senpai. No need for the formalities, Udo, just call me Naruto. We're colleagues now, right? Naruto said with a grin. Udo just smiled and nodded his head. Riaz coughed in her hand to regain everyone's attention. Next up we have my rook, Kaneko Taojo. A rook mainly specializes in Riaz, then turned her head towards a small girl that was sitting on the couch across from Naruto, eating sweets. The girl looked up from the bowl of food and directed her gaze towards Naruto. Nice to work with you, Naruto-san. Kaneko said with a monotone voice as she immediately started eating her sweets again. Naruto's sweat dropped and looked at Ria's again, signaling for her to continue. And last but not least we have my pawn, Hayato Issei. A pawn can promote to either a queen, knight or rook when in enemy territory. Issei here also possesses a sacred gear. Yosh. I hope we can kick some ass together, Naruto-senpai. Perhaps you can even help me become a harem king, huh? Issei asked as he looked at Naruto with twinkles in his eyes. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Issei. You're one of those filthy perverts, aren't you? Issei started to sulk as a dark cloud appeared above his head. Why does no one like perverts? Because you're disgusting. Kaneko answered, not looking up from her bowl of sweets. Why do you hate me so much, Kaneko-chan? Naruto just blinked while Rias rubbed her forehead. Alright, Naruto-kun. I've told you everything about my peerage. So I think it's only fair that you tell us something about your powers, don't you think? Rias asked with a smile. Naruto sighed. I guess you're right. Naruto then activated his Sharingan, gaining everyone's attention. My power is called the Sharingan. It allows me to predict my enemies' movements and copy their moves. I basically see everything in slow motion. You also need some decent speed because if your body can't keep up, the Sharingan is basically useless in battle. Rias nodded. Interesting, is there anything more? Naruto threw a quick glance towards the right corner of the room where Madara was standing. Madara nodded at him and beckoned for him to continue. Naruto silently thanked every deity he knew that he was the only one who could hear and see Madara. There's actually a second stage to the Sharingan. Naruto said as a pinwheel formed around his pupil. This is called the Manjikyu Sharingan. Once this level is achieved, special powers are bound to each of the user's eye. Udo was immediately reminded of the strange technique Naruto used to remove the fallen angel's corpse. He assumed that it was the special power bound to Naruto's left eye. And how do you unlock the second stage, Naruto-kun? Rias asked out of curiosity. You kill someone close to you. The room was silent as they took in what Naruto just said. Why you actually killed someone that was precious to you? Issei asked in a shocked voice. Narrator sighed and deactivated his Sharingan. I don't want to talk about it. Naruto then stood up and walked towards the door. I guess that was all. You know where to find me when you need me. The space then started to deform around Naruto's left eye and he disappeared inside the swirl. No one said a word. There was a lot more to Naruto than they had first thought. Rias was in deep thought. She knew that Naruto had held back information about himself and his powers. She understood that he couldn't trust completely yet, but it would be essential if they wanted to use this little alliance of theirs to its fullest potential. I will find out everything about you, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto appeared back in his apartment. For some reason, he felt extremely tired and his head hurt like hell. He just wanted to go to sleep. So how'd I do, Maddie-chan? Silence. Maddie-chan. Madara did not appear nor did Naruto hear his voice. This was strange. Really strange. No time for games, Maddie-chan. Just come out. Naruto asked in an annoyed tone. Naruto heard a strange sound near his window. He walked towards it and saw a crow flying away. Naruto rubbed his eyes as he could not believe what he just saw. The crow's eyes were red. I should really get some sleep. Naruto said to himself as he went to his bedroom. His head felt extremely light and his vision was a bit fuzzy. Naruto let himself fall down on the bed and he closed his eyes. Only to open them a second later and find himself in a forest. What the fuck? Naruto looked around. The moon in the sky was red. Crows were flying around everywhere. The trees in the forest were some of the tallest that Naruto had ever seen, even taller than those back in the Forest of Death. Madara. Kurama. Anybody there? Naruto assumed that this was his mindscape. He had not come in contact with Kurama ever since he had arrived in this new world. He couldn't use his chakra cloak and couldn't even enter his mindscape. He wasn't even sure if Kurama was still with him. Naruto walked deeper into the forest, not knowing what to expect. He silently hoped that he would encounter Kurama, but something was off about this mindscape of his. It was completely different. Naruto eventually came across a clearing with a small lake. In front of the lake was a figure sitting on a stone. The figure slowly turned around and looked Naruto straight in the eyes. Why hello there, Naruto-kun. Do you know how long I've been waiting for you to arrive? You. Uchiha Itachi. Naruto couldn't believe his eyes. Sitting in front of him was one of the most wanted criminals from the elemental nations, who actually turned out to be a hero instead of a villain. What in the name of Hashirama's holy morning wood are you doing here? Naruto shouted as he pointed his finger at Itachi. You weren't even there when that weird space thingy happened. Itachi sighed. You see Naruto-kun, this space thingy as you call it, actually affected more than just the battlefield. Our whole dimension was enveloped by it. Naruto was utterly shocked. He thought he and Madara were the only people who got sucked in. But you were dead. It doesn't make any sense, have I become some kind of foster home for Uchihas? Itachi chuckled slightly. No Naruto-kun, you don't have to worry about that. I'm actually not even here at the moment. Naruto gained a confused look on his face. You're not even here? Where the hell are you then? I'm at the Vatican. Itachi answered. Naruto was getting more and more confused by the moment. Why the hell are you in the Vatican? I assume you already know about the supernatural world, right? Naruto nodded. I'm here keeping tabs on the angels. I had assumed that you already met the devils. So I decided to get some information on another faction. Alright, stop right there. Naruto said as he waved his hands around frantically. Why are you helping me? You don't even know what the fuck I want. Naruto shouted, not understanding any of this. Itachi smiled slightly. It's because we're alike. Alike? We're both heroes in our own right. I prevented the Uchiha uprising while you kept the Kyuubi at bay. Even though what we were doing helped other people live their lives normally, we were branded as scum. And besides, Itachi chuckled a bit as he looked up to the sky. We're probably the only ones here from our own world, so I think it's natural that we help each other out. Naruto was torn between being happy and confused. Should he tell Itachi that Madara was with him? Wait, you said that our whole dimension got fucked up. Does that mean there are others from our world here as well? Naruto asked with some hope in his voice. It is highly unlikely. They probably didn't survive the trip to this dimension. And if they even got here, they're probably all scattered around the globe. It would be almost impossible to trace every single survivor down. Naruto's hope was crushed. I see, he said in a sad tone. Itachi put a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Don't fret, Naruto-kun. Once I'm done with my business here, I'll travel to Japan immediately. We'll be able to discuss our plans further. Itachi said with a small smile. Naruto grinned at him before his grin was replaced by a look of suspicion. Wait, if you're not inside my body and at the Vatican, how are you even talking to me? Itachi started to chuckle as his body slowly started to disappear. You know you should never look a Sharingan user in the eye, Naruto-kun, even if it's an animal. As realization hit him, Naruto was enveloped by darkness. Naruto's eyes shot open as he woke up in his room. He cursed as he realized how Itachi had got him. That crow was his, the fucker used a genjutsu on me, Naruto said to himself. Naruto wanted to stand up but felt some weight on his side that prevented him from doing it. Naruto's head slowly turned as he saw that no one other than a naked Rias was cuddled up to his side, sleeping soundly. Naruto sighed in frustration. What the hell is happening to my life? Naruto used his free arm to nudge Rias awake. Boy, wake up. Rias moaned as he slowly opened her eyes and stretched her body a little. Good morning, Naruto-kun. Rias said. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Yeah, a very good morning. Care to explain what the hell you're doing in my house? Rias sighed as she trapped Naruto into an even tighter hug. I had to help Issei out with a contract gone wrong last night, and since your apartment was close by, I decided to sleep here. Oh, that's a pretty good reason. Hell, I think we should do this more often. Naruto said, the sarcasm dripping off his voice. I'm sure we can arrange that. Rias spoke in a seductive voice as she trailed her fingers down Naruto's chest. Naruto, who was getting tired of Rias' shit, decided to use Kamui to phase through Rias and get off the bed. Rias pouted as she looked at Naruto, who was now standing on the other side of the bedroom. Naruto-kun. Come back to bed. Rias ordered as she opened her arms wide, exposing her breasts. Hell no. You better get your ass dressed or I'm heading to school without you. Naruto said as he left the room to get dressed somewhere else. This little alliance is going pretty well, don't you think? Naruto jumped at hearing Madara's voice. What the hell, Maddie-chan? Where were you last night? Madara's brow furrowed. I was where I'm always at, you fool. You know I can't go too far away from you without being pulled back. Naruto laughed awkwardly. Oh yeah, right. By the way, someone will join us soon. Naruto said as he started to put on his school uniform. Is it another devil or something? Naruto chuckled. Oh no, he's actually from our world. And he's an Uchiha as well. Madara's eyebrows rose up. An Uchiha, huh? This will certainly be interesting, Madara said with a low chuckle. Are you ready, Naruto-kun? Naruto turned around to see Rias standing in the doorway of his bedroom, fully dressed. Ready as ever. Naruto said with a sigh. We overslept a little, so we have to hurry up if we don't want to be late. Rias said as she walked past Naruto. She let out a squeal of surprise when Naruto suddenly grabbed her by her waist and pulled her close. Then Naruto-kun. Without saying a word, Naruto activated his Kamui. Could you please give me warning next time? Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't want to be late. Rias and Naruto were now both sitting in the clubroom, waiting for the others arrive. Rias, this morning you said something about a contract gone wrong. What exactly happened? Naruto asked. Rias sighed as she rested her chin on her hand. A few days ago, Issei met a nun. But since it's dangerous for a devil to go near church, I forbade Issei from going near it. Last night, Issei was lured into a trap by a stray exorcist. He encountered the same nun there and he has been upset ever since. Ria's finished. Naruto nodded as he leaned his head back slightly. Well, if the pervert doesn't want to get killed, I'm sure he won't do anything stupid. How wrong he was. Not a second later, both Issei and Yudo walked into the room with nervous looks on their faces. Welcome boys, how nice of you to come. Ria said in a deceptively sweet tone. The boys remained silent. Care to explain why you lied about saving Naruto-kun from the fallen angel that attacked him? Well, but Yudo started. You told us not to interfere, but we didn't want to make you worry because Naruto-senpai had killed a fallen angel. Yudo finished. It was all his idea. I didn't have anything to do with it. Issei shouted as he pointed at Yudo. What? You're actually the one who started lying in front of Butchu's face. Lies, pretty boy. Those are all lies. Silence. Riaz raised her hand, gaining the attention of the two boys. I hope you both understand that you'll be punished. The two boys gulped and nodded. Naruto was barely holding his laughter at this scene. Akeno, can you come out? Suddenly Akeno appeared on the room with her trademark creepy smile. Even Naruto felt uneasy around her. Akeno hasn't got the chance to use her new spell, so I figured you two would be perfect for target practice. Ria said with a smile. Akeno had a small blush on her face as she licked her lips. Ara, why don't you two come with me? Udo and Issei gulped for one last time as they followed Akeno outside. As soon as they left, Naruto burst out in laughter. This is pure gold. I'm actually starting to pity those sorry souls. Ria smirked triumphantly. That'll teach them not to lie to me. Uchiha Itachi was not amused. After hearing the news of a nun with some strange healing power being transferred to Japan, Itachi was getting worried. He had no doubt that Naruto would somehow have been caught into this mess. This is starting to get troublesome. Itachi was currently hiding in a large cathedral, spying on some members of the Catholic Church that were possibly affiliated with some angel. He knew that he couldn't screw up, he needed all the information he could get before he would travel to Japan. Uo, what do we have here? Itachi slowly turned around to see two girls standing behind him. One had chestnut-colored hair and had it tied into two long pigtails. She had a rather cheerful expression on her face. The other girl had blue hair with a fringe of green on the side. She looked at Itachi with a cold look. Who are you, intruder? The blue-haired girl asked in a cold tone. Itachi's face remained emotionless. It's not really appropriate to ask for someone's name when you haven't introduced yourself yet. Don't play games with. Of course it isn't. The brown-haired girl interrupted. I'm Arina Shido and this is Zenobia Quarta. We were stationed here as guards. And who are you, handsome? Irina asked while she wiggled her eyebrows. Itachi's eyebrows rose up. I'm Uchiha Itachi. I'm kind of busy spying on some people here, so it would be kindly appreciated if you would leave. The spy, huh? Who do you work for? The fallen angels or those dirty devils? Zenobia demanded. I work alone. Oh, you really are an ambitious one, Itachi-kun. Irina exclaimed as she clasped her hands together. But we were told to kill any trespasser, so I'll make your death quick and painless. Irina and Zenobia then both unsheathed their blades, getting into an offensive fighting stance. Itachi sighed as he closed his eyes. And I wanted to end this peacefully. Oh well, it's been a while since I've been in a fight, even though his won't be much of a fight. Don't underestimate us. Zenobia shouted as she charged at Itachi. Itachi's eyes shot open. Amaterasu. The silence of the night crept over Kuo. A cloaked figure was slowly walking through the rain towards an abandoned church. Inside the church, fallen angels were discussing their plans. The nun still walks free, for now. A woman with long black hair and a rather attractive body spoke. I think we should tread more carefully from now on, Rainer. Another woman with a large bust and blue hair said. We already lost Onisik. Perhaps we should wait with the ceremony. Yeah, and I don't think Azazel will be too happy with the fact that you disobeyed his orders. A small blonde-haired girl added. No. We need that sacred gear as soon as we can get it. Rainer snapped at the two. Azazel hasn't done a thing yet and it's been days since I killed that pathetic boy. Azazel has better things to do. The leader of the fallen angels doesn't really sound like a competent man. A deep voice echoed through the church. The fallen angels turned their heads to see a man cloaked in black. He was wearing an orange mask with a spiral design. The only feature of his face they could see were his blood-red eyes. Rainer narrowed her eyes at the figure. Who are you? How did you get in here? The figure chuckled as he walked closer to Rainer. How interesting. You fallen angels intrigue me. It seems like you don't even care that your comrade died. You can think about that some more once you go to hell. Rainer shouted as she threw a light spear at the man. only for it to phase right through him. In the blink of an eye, the man had appeared in front of Rainer and had grabbed her by her throat. He slammed her into a nearby wall. "Now listen here," the man said slowly as he dangerously glared at Rainer. "I'm only interested in the sacred gear. I don't care about you or your black-winged friends. You're my slaves now and will follow my orders. I won't be like you previous leader, remember that. If you disobey me, I won't hesitate to kill you." The man then released Rainer, making her gasp for air. The man then turned around to face the two other fallen angels, who were trembling in fear. "I need some more information. What do you know about this sacred gear?" the man asked. "It's called Twilight Healing," the blue-haired woman answered. "It has the ability to heal humans, devils, angels and fallen angels alike. It can only heal injuries and won't be able to recover any lost limbs, heal diseases or reduce exhaustion." "I see, that is certainly an interesting power." The man then turned back to Rainer. "Where is the wielder of the sacred gear now?" "She's currently roaming free, sir," Rainer answered. "Fools. You remember the boy you killed?" Rainer slowly nodded. "He has been reincarnated into a devil. He has already met the girl that wields the sacred gear. We will now surely get into contact with the peerage the boy belongs to, and that will only cause trouble." The man finished with a sigh. "So what are we going to do now?" Rainer asked, still scared of this mysterious man. "Tomorrow, you are going to retrieve the girl and bring her back to the church. I don't care whether the devils are alerted, just get her. Extract the sacred gear from her and wait until I arrive." "But what about us? What will we do once you take the sacred gear?" The man looked Rainer into her eyes. She almost felt hypnotized by the red color. She wanted to reach out to him, follow him, obey him. "You run." Rainer just dumbly nodded, like he had said the most obvious thing in the world. "Now prepare yourself for tomorrow. I have some other things to take care of," the man said as he started walking off. Wait. The man turned around to see Rainer running towards him. Who are you, if I may ask?" Rainer asked, blushing like a schoolgirl. The man chuckled, finding it humorous that this woman wanted to know who he was so desperately and how he had turned her into his humble servant in such a short amount of time. The man looked Rainer straight into the eyes once again. "I am a man known by many names. My name plants fear into the hearts of my enemies and makes my comrades sigh in relief. I am a ghost, a mere shell of my former self. I am the man who will bring change to this rotten world." Rainer and the other fallen angels looked at their new leader in absolute awe, mesmerized by his voice. "I am the man who will overthrow the leaders of both heaven and hell. I am the man who will make humans, angels and devils kneel before me as they praise me as their new god. I am." Lightning struck as the raindrops clattered against the windows of the church. The wind howled as the man raised his hand and clenched his fist. "Uchiha Madara." Itachi sighed as he walked out of the cathedral that was set ablaze by his black flames. He knew he hadn't killed the two girls, but the destruction of the cathedral would certainly attract unwanted attention. And it certainly wouldn't really be beneficial for him if he had a horde of angels and exorcists hunting him. Itachi blended into the crowd that was now watching the burning cathedral. He had to get back to his hotel as fast as possible. As Itachi arrived at his hotel, he felt a strange presence. Was he already found? He slowly walked up the stairs and searched his pockets for the keys of his room. As Itachi opened the door, he saw two figures standing in his room. They were dressed in some kind of white uniform and were both wielding swords. "So you're the one who started the fire at the cathedral. You will pay for your sins." The exorcists charged at Itachi with their swords raised in the air. Itachi dodged the downward slash of the first exorcist and gave him a roundhouse kick to the face, promptly knocking the exorcist out. The second exorcist pulled out a gun and aimed it at Itachi's head. Itachi quickly smacked the gun out of his hand and kicked the exorcist in the chest, making some distance between them. Itachi then ran towards the window and jumped out of it. "Don't think you can get away from us. God's eyes are everywhere," the exorcist shouted. Itachi ran towards the road and pulled over a nearby cab. He got into the car, activated his Sharingan and looked at the driver. "To the airport." The driver obeyed Itachi's order and stepped on the pedal. Itachi looked out the window to see the exorcist trying to catch up to the car. Itachi took a deep breath as he looked forward again. "I'm coming, Naruto-kun." Well, that escalated quickly. Naruto was currently sitting in his apartment, planning out everything. He had just called Riaz and had invited her to discuss the terms of their alliance in further detail. Today would be a busy day for Naruto and everything would have to be perfect. "That was quite the facade you put up with those fallen angels yesterday," Madara said as he appeared. "Ugh, that reminds me. I have to visit Rainer tonight as well," Naruto said as he buried his face in his hands. "I have no doubt that some kind of problem will arise during the extraction of the sacred gear. And there's also Itachi doing God knows what." Madara's brow furrowed as he asked a question he had meant to ask a long time ago. What are you planning to do with this sacred gear? Naruto sighed. Since I've lost contact with Kurama, I can't use his chakra to heal myself anymore. This sacred gear would certainly help with getting my healing factor back up. There's more to this than you tell me. Naruto nodded. I've done some research on the leader of the fallen angels. He's actually a pretty smart guy and has put quite some time into artificially recreating sacred gears. I could possibly recreate this sacred gear, give it back to the nun, and strengthen my standing with the church. Naruto and Madara were interrupted by the sound of the doorbell ringing. Naruto stood up and walked towards the door. He opened and saw Riaz standing outside. Yo, Riaz. Naruto greeted with a grin. Come on in. Riaz smiled and entered Naruto's apartment. They quickly made their way to the couch to discuss their alliance. You wanted to talk about our agreement, right? Riaz asked, her smile still on her face. Yes, indeed. Naruto took a deep breath and leaned back slightly. Well, you know about my powers and I know about yours and your peerage, we haven't exactly gotten to the point where we get something out of this. So what do you propose? I will help you in battle anytime you wish. You may call me to your aid if it's not a devil-only matter. How does that sound? Riaz nodded her head in agreement. That sounds alright. So what do you want in return? Riaz asked as she leaned slightly closer to Naruto, a smile still evident on her face. I know that devils help other people out in the form of contracts. I want to be able to summon members of your peerage without having to pay for it. Still doable. Riaz placed her finger on her chin. She then resumed smiling once more. I can work with that. Madara, who was watching the two, smirked. Naruto had played his cards right. He had now gained more control over Riaz's peerage and could use them to clean up the dirty work. Naruto, are you by any chance free tomorrow? Naruto got a confused look on his face. Yeah. Why are you asking? Naruto may be a seasoned fighter and now an evil mastermind, but he was still clueless when it came to women. I was wondering if we could hang out a bit. You know, get to know each other better. I am certain it will help our alliance grow stronger. Riaz still had a smile on her face, but it was different. This smile had a more seductive ring to it. Naruto grinned. Sure. That would be nice. Madara's smirk of approval turned into a frown of disapproval. And everything was going so well, Madara muttered to himself. Well, Naruto-kun, as much as I would like to stay here with you, I have some club business to attend to. I guess I'll see you tomorrow then. Riaz then walked out of the apartment, leaving Naruto and Madara alone. Naruto, you're treading on thin ice right now. Madara said with a frown. What do you mean? I'm just being nice. Like she just said, our alliance will just benefit from it. Naruto said with a shrug. Madara sighed. You're still as dense as ever. Tell me, do you think I would have disposed of Obito that easily if I would have treated him like my own son? Naruto shook his head. Exactly. You'll only end up hurting yourself if you involve yourself with that woman more than necessary. Keep your relation with her strictly professional. Madara finished. Naruto waved Madara off. Whatever, Maddie-chan. I'm going to get some training in. Naruto said as he started walking towards the door. Madara's eyes narrowed. Why would you need to train? You're already strong enough to take on most of these supernatural beings. Naruto pinched the bridge of his nose in frustration. That doesn't have anything to do with. I haven't entered Sage mode in quite some time and I got to check if I can still absorb natural energy properly. Madara snorted. Back when I used Hashirama's Sage powers, I didn't even have to check if I could still absorb natural energy. That's because you had his face where your left was supposed to be, Dumbus. Naruto was now sitting in a clearing in the forest, silently meditating. He needed to concentrate solely on the purpose of gathering natural energy. Naruto felt the powers from the outside world slowly entering him. He could swear that he felt himself grow stronger as his chakra gave of a burning sensation. Naruto opened his eyes slowly, feeling the energy of all the people that were miles away from him. Naruto slowly walked over to a small stream near the clearing. He looked at the water and saw his reflection. He grinned when he saw the familiar orange pigmentation around his eyes. Naruto's happiness was soon replaced by confusion. What happened to my 6-path Sage mode that I got from the Sage? My truth-seeking balls also disappeared after I got here. I should ask Maddie-chan about it later. Naruto thought to himself. Ooh, a human that can use chakra and senjutsu. Aren't you an interesting one, Naya? Naruto deactivated his Sage mode and turned around to see a black-haired woman standing in the clearing. She was wearing a rather loose black kimono that exposed a lot of cleavage. She wore a golden obi around her waist with a set of golden beads attached to it. But her most remarkable features were her yellow cat-like eyes, her tails and the black cat ears atop of her head. Naruto narrowed his eyes slightly but smiled nonetheless. You have no idea how interesting I can be. And who are you? The woman giggled and walked over to Naruto, swaying her hips. My name is Kuroka, I'm a Nekashu, and I have never seen such a strong and interesting man like you. How about we try making children, Naya? Kuroka asked as he wrapped her arms around Naruto and licked his cheek. Naruto tried to pry himself out of Kuroka's grip. Damn it, woman. I've just met you and you already want to have sex. That's not how it works. Naruto exclaimed. Kuroka released Naruto and pouted. You're no fun, Naya. Kuroka then put her hands on her hips. But I agree, we should go out on some dates first and have some passionate kisses, Naya. Naruto's sweat dropped before gaining a suspicious look on his face. Wait a minute, how did you know I was using senjutsu? Naruto asked, still suspicious of the Nekashu. Because I felt you gather natural energy, silly. Kuroka said as she tapped Naruto's chest with her finger. And besides, I can use senjutsu myself. But that's enough about me, won't you tell your future mate something more about yourself, Naya? Kuroka said before tackling Naruto, straddling him. Naruto blushed slightly at the rather uncomfortable position he was put into. Well, the name's Uzumaki Naruto. I like eating ramen, training and my friends. I dislike it when people bitch way too much. My dream is to make peace between the three major factions. Naruto finished. Kuroka's eyebrows rose up and a smirk appeared on her face. Oh, you certainly dream big, Naya. I'm actually quite happy that my future mate is such an interesting man, Kuroka said as she licked Naruto's cheek once again. Don't get ahead of yourself. Kuroka's ears suddenly twitched. She sighed as she climbed of Naruto. I'm sorry sweetie, it seems I have to go now. But I'll make sure to visit you again soon, Naya. Kuroka then pecked Naruto's cheek and disappeared like she had never actually been there. What the actual fuck? Wow, Naruto. Naruto turned around to see that Madara had appeared behind him. And he was grinning. Naruto's eyes widened. It was never good when Madara was grinning. Someone would end up being raped most of the time when that would happen. First you gain control over Rias, then you whip that fallen angel into submission, and here you are again, hooking up with some catwoman. I never knew you had it in you. Madara said as he wiped a fake tear away. Naruto's eye twitched. Shut up, you perverted disgrace to humanity. Didn't you see what she just did? She almost raped me. You call that hooking up? Madara wiggled his eyebrows. It isn't rape if you don't resist. You could have killed her if you wanted, but you just let her lick your face off like you were a bowl of milk. Damn it, you pervert. You're probably just jealous that you can't get laid because you're some kind of stupid ass ghost and I got all these hot bitches jazzing me. Naruto shouted as he accusingly pointed his finger at Madara. Madara scoffed. I could get laid whenever I want. I just have to snap my fingers and the women will flock me. Madara stated in an arrogant tone. Naruto snorted. Yeah, right. Isn't it kinda hard to have sex if you'll phase right through her? Why, you little. Naruto raised his hand. Enough, Maddie-chan. I have to prepare myself for my meeting with the fallen angels tonight. What are you going to do with them once you've gotten the sacred gear? Madara asked. Naruto sighed. I can't just kill Rainer. She might also have further use for me in the future, so I'll keep her alive for now. Smart thinking. And if you would kill her, we would lose our main connection to the fallen angels. That would set back our plans by a large margin. Exactly, now we just have to hope the extraction process goes without too much trouble. Naruto finished as he and Madara started to walk out of the forest. Once he got out of the forest, Naruto decided to take a walk through the park to clear his mind. Little did he know, the walk would be everything but calming. As Naruto walked through the park he suddenly heard a scream. Naruto decided to check it out and stumbled on an unexpected surprise. Asia. Naruto saw Issei standing near a small blonde-haired girl. To Naruto's shock the two were separated by a light spear. Naruto turned his head slightly to see a figure flying above Asia. The figure had black wings. It was Rainer. Oh for fuck's sake, Naruto cursed under his breath. Issei-san, I want to thank you. Asia started with tears in her eyes. Asia, no. I want to thank you for being my first friend, I'll never forget you. How touching. Rainer said as she wiped away a fake tear. I'm sorry Asia-chan, but your time is up. Rainer then grabbed Asia and disappeared with her. Asia. Issei shouted. Issei fell to his knees and started to punch the ground in rage. Naruto decided to intervene before things would start to get out of hand. What the hell happened here? Naruto asked, feigning ignorance. Naruto-senpai. Issei shouted as he ran over to Naruto. They took Asia. Naruto gripped Issei's shoulders tightly. Calm down, you need to keep it together. After a few deep breaths, Issei calmed down. Good boy. Now you need to report what happened to Rias, alright? There's no time for that. We have to go after her. Issei shouted. Do you want to brand it as a stray? You can't just go out and do whatever you like, you're a mere low-class devil. Issei gritted his teeth, he knew that Naruto was right, but he couldn't just abandon Asia like that. I'll go trace down that fallen angel, okay? You go and tell Rias everything, to the finest detail. Got it? Issei's face brightened. Thank you Naruto-senpai. I owe you one. Naruto waved him off. Whatever. Now go. And with that Issei ran off. Naruto scoffed. He's even denser than I was. I think you mean than I am. What the hell, Maddie-chan? Stop sneaking up on me like that. And why do you always disappear when, like, all the important things happen? Naruto shouted at the smirking form of Madara. It would be a shame to miss out on your reaction. Madara answered casually. Naruto snorted. Sure, whatever. I need to prepare myself for the meeting real quick, I don't have much time until Issei starts chasing the girl again. You know the peerage will probably back him up now, right? Naruto nodded. I know, but it doesn't matter. Rias wouldn't take unnecessary risks, so I guess it will take long enough for her to be convinced to go save the girl. By the time they arrive, the extraction process will probably be complete. Naruto then ran off towards his apartment to prepare himself for tonight. These guys don't give up easily. Uchiha Itachi was once again not amused. After arriving in Japan, he discovered something rather troublesome. Apparently, the exorcist Itachi fraud in his hotel room had followed him all the way to the airport. He had seen Itachi board a flight to Japan and know the Church of Japan had also been alerted of Itachi's actions. And there was also another problem. Itachi had no idea where he was. It turned out Itachi had arrived in some kind city called Tokyo, knowing that Naruto was located in some small town that goes by the name of Kuo. Itachi only had the slightest idea of where to go. And it didn't really help that he was being chased by exorcists. Itachi was currently hiding in an alleyway, having just escaped the clutches of another group of exorcists. Itachi sighed, had he been someone else he would have probably killed everyone chasing him, but Itachi didn't want any unnecessary bloodshed. It seems you are in a bit of trouble, Itachi-san. Itachi turned around to see a rather fancy-dressed man standing in the alleyway. The man had dark green hair and had a kind smile on his face. Itachi raised a brow at the sudden appearance of the man. How do you know my name? Itachi asked. Well Itachi-san, your actions have caused quite the uproar in the supernatural world. Itachi's other brow rose up. Oh, how rude of myself. I am Diodora Astareth, a devil. The man said with small bow. A devil, huh? Why have you approached me? Diodora chuckled. For no specific reason, actually. It just seemed like you were in desperate need for some help. I'll be traveling to the town of Kuo soon, would you like to accompany me? Itachi gained a thoughtful look on his face. This man was traveling to the exact place he needed to be. This couldn't be a coincidence. Very well. Itachi said. Diodora nodded in approval. Excellent, I think it's time for us to leave. We wouldn't want another group of exorcists on our tail, now would we? Itachi said nothing as he followed Diodora. Chaos was the only word to describe the current situation in the abandoned church. Udo, Kaneko and Issei were fighting through a rather large group of acolytes. Their goal was to reach Asia, who was chained to a cross on the other side of the room. Ayado-kun. You go ahead and rescue Asia. Kaneko and I will be fine here. Udo shouted as he cut down another acolyte. I can't just leave you guys like that. Issei shouted back. Ara. No one will have to leave anybody now. A voice came from behind them. Issei turned around to see Rias and Akeno standing behind him. Akeno-san, but you. Issei shouted in relief. Akeno, clean this mess up. Rias ordered. Akeno licked her lips. With pleasure, but you. Akeno then flew into the air and started throwing lightning bolts, killing all acolytes. Yosh. Issei said as he pumped his fist in the air. Now let's go get Asia. Unfortunately they were too late. The green light surrounded Asia as she screamed out in pain. Her eyes went dull and lifeless as her head hung limp. 2 small silver rings were levitating above her body. Rainer smiled maniacally as she grabbed the sacred gear, cradling it in her hands. Issei fell to his knees. No, Asia, she did nothing wrong, she just wanted a friend. Why would you do this her? Issei yelled as tears rolled down his cheeks. Rainer laughed. Foolish boy. Did you really think you? Well, this is quite the scene. Suddenly a man had appeared next to Rainer. He was wearing a black cloak and wore an orange mask. Rainer's eyes widened as she started to tremble slightly. Madara-sama. Rias and her peerage looked on in confusion as the man chuckled. You did a good job, Rainer-chan. Madara said as he stroked Rainer's cheek. Now where is the sacred gear? It's right here. Rainer quickly answered as she handed over the sacred gear. Madara held the sacred gear in his hands and held it close to his masked face. Remarkable. Madara said before putting the sacred gear away, hiding it in his cloak. He turned to Rainer once again. You remember what I told you to do, right? Rainer nodded as she created a light spear. She threw the light spear to one of the church's windows, breaking it. She then spread her wings wide and flew through the opening she had created for herself, disappearing into the night. Well, that's that, Madara said to himself. You're the one behind this. I'll kill you. Issei shouted as he charged at Madara. Issei, no. Ria shouted, but her call was unheard. As Issei's sacred gear almost made contact with Madara's mask, Madara caught Issei's fist. Before Issei could get over his surprise, Madara had punched Issei in the stomach. The sheer force of the punch sent Issei flying to the other side of the room. Issei. Madara scoffed. You're not even worth to dance with. You should learn to control your slaves, Ria's Gremory. Ria's glared at Madara. Who are you? Ria's demanded. Madara chuckled. I am Uchiha Madara. But that is of no importance for now. My current goal has been accomplished, so I shall take my leave. But I am sure we shall meet again. Madara's body then turned into a flock of crows. The crows flew out of the same window Rainer left through, leaving Ria's and her peerage to their thoughts. Rainer was sitting in an abandoned house she had found. She had trouble dealing with this new feeling she was experiencing. She was scared. She did not know what to do. Would Madara kill her now that she had served her use? Would he just leave her to rot, waiting until a devil or exorcist would take her life? You seem to be quite nervous. Rainer's head snapped towards the direction of the voice. Standing in the room was Madara. Madara-sama. Rainer exclaimed as she stood up. I'm glad you're safe. I'm sure you am, Madara said as he walked towards her. Madara-sama, may I ask you something? Rainer said, uncomfortably fidgeting with her fingers. What is it? Rainer took a deep breath. What will happen to me now? Naruto frowned under his mask. He had to hand it to Obito, he would never be able to act like that man. The real Madara would have no problem with killing her right now. But Naruto wasn't Madara. He would probably come to regret this decision. You are going to stay with me from now on. Rainer's eyes widened. To Naruto's surprise, Rainer threw herself at Naruto and cried in his chest. Thank you, Madara-sama. Rainer managed to stutter out between sobs. Sure, whatever. Madara said as he awkwardly rubbed Rainer's back. Come, it is time for us to depart now, we shall discuss this further at my hideout. Madara used Kamui to transport himself and Rainer to his apartment. Naruto sighed as he sat down on his couch with Rainer sitting beside him. He took his hood and mask off, revealing his face. Rainer blushed at Naruto's handsome features. Alright. Naruto started. We have to go through a few things first to make it work. When I'm wearing my mask, you will refer to me as Madara. When we're with other people and I'm not wearing my mask, I go by the alias of Uzumaki Naruto. When we're alone, you can call me however you like. Got it? Rainer nodded. Naruto smiled slightly in return. Good. Second of all, you cannot show that you're a fallen angel. Rainer looked confused. Let me explain. I've just got my hands on the sacred gear and we need to lay low for a little while. So if anyone were to recognize you, we will use a little story to cover everything up. If someone recognizes you, we will tell them that I found you on the street, injured and bloodied. You're suffering from memory loss, so you don't remember anything. Now we need some kind of name for you to go by, Naruto said as he rubbed his chin and thought. Well, I used to go by the name of Amano Yuma when I killed that devil boy. Rainer said. Perfect. That will be your name in public from now on. Now you must be tired from the events of this day. Let me lead you to the bedroom. Naruto stood up from the couch and walked towards his bedroom, Rainer following in his steps. Well, I guess it's the couch for me tonight, Naruto muttered to himself. Good night, Rainer-chan. Good night, Madara-sama. Naruto walked out of the bedroom, leaving Rainer to her rest. He made his way to the couch again and sat down on the couch with a tired sigh. Naruto closed his eyes and leaned back, enjoying the silence of the night. What the hell is wrong with you? Naruto's eyes shot open as he saw a very angry Uchiha Madara standing in front of him. Oh what the hell, Maddie-chan, I was just enjoying all this peace and quiet, Naruto said as he rubbed his eyes. So sleep is all you care about now, huh? What were you thinking? We'll be getting in a lot more trouble thanks to the fallen angel here now. Hell, isn't that red-headed woman enough for you to work with? Madara shouted at Naruto. Are you on your period on something? Earlier this day you were so proud of me getting all the ladies and now you're suddenly all worked up because an ally is staying with us. You said it yourself, Madara, we can't kill her. She's our only connection to the fallen angels now. Naruto tried to reason. She is no ally of ours. Madara spat. She just a mere tool. Did you ears die on you or something? She betrayed her leader. Her connection to their leader is next to none now. You should have just killed her, that's what I would have done. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Yeah, but I'm not you, Madara, killing won't help me achieve peace. Her death wouldn't have achieved peace, but it would have had saved us a big amount of trouble. If you can't even act like me, how are you going to keep your cover up with the fallen angels? What if the devils find out? You're treading on thin ice now, Naruto. Don't worry, I've already covered everything up. We'll just have to wait until Itachi arrives, then we'll be able to really get on with our business. Naruto said as he lied down on the couch, making himself comfortable. I'm really tired, so good night Maddie-chan. Naruto drifted into sleep, not aware of Madara's eyes still watching him. It might be time for me to interfere soon. Madara said to himself. Naruto woke up to the sound of the birds chirping. He yawned as sat up straight. It was certainly better than waking up to that god-forsaken alarm every morning. Naruto rubbed his eyes as he reached for his phone on the coffee table. He rose a brow as he saw what was written on the screen. 8 missed calls from Rias. Oh crap, and I have to meet with her too today, Naruto said as he rubbed his temples. He already had a lot on his minds, and Rias just made it worse. Now you just have to hope that she doesn't have any anti-er tendencies. A voice suddenly said. Naruto turned his head to see Madara standing next to the couch, a slightly amused look on his face. Yo, Maddie-chan. You still upset about yesterday? Naruto asked as he stood up from the couch, stretching his back a bit. Madara sighed. I still don't like the fact that the woman is staying here, but as we have already concluded, she is our only connection to the fallen angels. So I guess I'll have to deal with it. Naruto's eyebrow rose up. You're taking this pretty well. I had expected another temper tantrum or something. Are you saying I don't take it well when things don't go my way? Madara said, smirking slightly. Naruto grinned. I certainly am. Speaking from my own experiences, I can tell that Ichigo has leave their village when things don't go their way. Madara snorted. Go wake up the fallen angel. I don't think it's wise to keep that devil woman waiting any longer. Naruto sighed as he started walking towards his bedroom, Madara following in his steps. Naruto opened the door slightly so that he would not be intruding if Rainer was now getting or dressed or anything like that. Time to wake you. Oh yes, Madara-sama. Naruto's brow furrowed. He decided to step into the room to check if everything was alright. He stumbled on the side of Rainer, who looked like she was still asleep, hugging a pillow with a blush on her cheeks. Oh, Madara-sama, I love it when you touch me like that. Naruto's eyes widened as he saw that one of Rainer's arms had slipped under the blanket and was moving in a rather strange way. Madara was barely holding in his laughter while Naruto's eyes twitched violently. Naruto walked over to the bed and shook Rainer's shoulder. It's time to get up Rainer-chan, Naruto said, trying to keep his composure. No, 5 more minutes Madara-sama. Come on now. Madara-sama, my legs are still sore. Get the fuck up. Rainer let out a squeal as he shot up from the bed. She looked at Naruto with wide eyes, realizing that he had been there the entire time. Madara-sama. Yes, the one and only, now come on, it's time for breakfast. Naruto quickly turned around to hide the blush on his cheeks and started to walk toward the kitchen. His eyes twitched once again as he listened to Madara's laughter echoing through his apartment. Naruto beckoned for Rainer to sit down at the table as he grabbed some cereal. He joined her soon with 2 bowls of cereal. I'm sorry if it's not good enough for your liking, I'm not the best cook. Naruto said as he started to dig into his cereal. It's fine, Madara-sama. Rainer managed to stutter, her cheeks still red. Naruto rubbed his forehead as he looked at Rainer. Look, I'm having a meeting with a business contact of mine today. So you'll be alone here for some time. Think you can survive that? Rainer's eyes widened. Alone. What am I supposed to do without you? Rainer asked. Naruto blushed once again as he took the question in a rather different way. You'll manage. Just don't touch anything, don't open the door if someone knocks or rings the bell, and please, for the sake of all that is holy. Rainer's eyes fixed on Naruto. What was he going to tell her about? Some kind of sacred gear, a holy sword, or maybe the ultimate weapon of destruction. Don't touch the ramen. Rainer almost fell off her chair in response to Naruto's answer. Excuse me Madara-sama, but how is ramen? She was cut off by the sound of the door slamming shut. Rainer ran over to the window and saw that Naruto had already left for his meeting. Rainer pouted as she crossed her arms under her bust. He left without giving me a goodbye kiss. She whined. Naruto was silently walking down the streets of Kuo, checking his phone. He sighed as he started dialing Ria's phone number. Well, here it goes, Naruto said to himself as he started calling Rias. Hello. Ria's voice answered. Yo, Rias. It's Naruto speaking here, Naruto said in a slightly nervous tone. Why hello there, Naruto-kun. Ria said in a sweet tone. Naruto gulped. I take it you haven't forgotten about our little meeting for today. Of course not. Naruto said quickly. So, where should I meet you? He asked. Why don't we meet at the fountain in the park? We'll see how it goes from that point on. Rias answered, her voice still sweet. Alright then. I guess I'll see you there, then. I'm looking forward to it. Ria said before hanging up. Naruto sighed. Well, she didn't sound too angry, I wonder why she called me so much, Naruto asked himself. It's probably about the events that happened at the abandoned church. Madara's voice suddenly said. I swear to God, Madara. If you will make any sudden appearances during my meeting with Rias, being a ghost will be the least of your worries. Naruto threatened. Madara chuckled. No promises. So you're meeting at the park. It's becoming some kind of iconic spot for supernatural beings or something. Naruto smiled a bit. Yeah, I guess that fountain is really some kind of hotspot. Naruto and Madara continued to make small talk with each other as they made their way to the park, ignoring the stares that Naruto was getting from the people since it looked like he was talking to himself. Naruto would probably never admit it, but he was actually a bit happy that Madara was with him. He would have felt alone without the Uchiha besides him, and Naruto hated feeling alone. Well, here we are. Naruto said as he sat on the edge of fountain. She's not even here yet, Naruto sighed. Madara smirked slightly as he saw Ria slowly approaching, probably trying to sneak up on Naruto. Oh, don't worry. She'll be here soon enough. Madara stated in an amused tone. Did you say something, Maddie-chan? Madara had already disappeared from Naruto's side. Maddie-chan. Naruto looked around a bit, searching for Madara, but realized that he was already gone. Naruto suddenly felt a presence approaching him. Before Naruto could turn his head, a pair of arms wrapped themselves around him and someone's face started nuzzling his neck. Oh Naruto-kun, I was so worried about you. Why didn't you answer my calls? Rias asked as she hugged Naruto tighter. Naruto, who was getting trouble with breathing, gulped. I was really busy. I hope nothing bad happened. Naruto said. Don't worry about it. Nothing too significant happened. Naruto's eyes narrowed, was trying to save someone from having their sacred gear ripped out of them. Nothing significant. Naruto quickly replaced the look on his face with a smile. Why don't we get something to eat? We can catch up while we do that. Naruto said as he stood up. Ria smiled as she stood up as well, linking her arm with Naruto's. Lead the way. Itachi looked out of the train's window, trying to gather his thoughts. There was something wrong about this Diodora, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Why did we choose this method of transport? Itachi asked as he directed his gaze towards Diodora, who was sitting across from him. Diodora smiled. I could use my devil magic to transport ourselves to Kuo, but that wouldn't be so enjoyable. Besides, isn't this a nice break from running from all those exorcists? Diodora said as he pointed at the scenery outside. Itachi nodded before closing his eyes. What are you doing now, Naruto-kun? Itachi thought. Itachi's thoughts were cut off by Diodora's voice. So where are you heading to Kuo, Itachi-san? I'm meeting with an acquaintance of mine. Itachi answered, not opening his eyes. Oh, what a coincidence. I'm also meeting with an acquaintance, well, we're more like lovers actually. Diodora said, his smile not disappearing for a second. Interesting. Itachi said, actually not giving a damn about it. She is a nun. A really kind-hearted girl. She once healed me, fully knowing I was a devil. Diodora seemed to trail off as his smile got a slightly more wicked tint to it. Then it hit Itachi. Normal healing abilities couldn't heal devils. So it could only mean one thing. Diodora was after the sacred gear possessing nun that was transferred here from Italy. Itachi slowly opened his eyes, his usual black orbs replaced by red ones. Unfortunately, Diodora made the mistake of looking straight into Itachi's eyes. Why don't you tell me a bit more, Diodora-san? Rias and Naruto were now sitting on a bench, eating dango. Rias was sitting extremely close to Naruto and was leaning on him slightly. Naruto looked at her with a raised eyebrow. Since when did she become so clingy? Naruto asked himself in his mind. So Rias, did anything interesting happen? Naruto asked, trying to get a conversation going. I got a new member for my peerage. Rias said as she took another bite of her dango. Naruto's eyebrows rose up. Oh really? Tell me a bit more. Naruto said, his interest now piqued. Well, she's a bishop now. It's the same nun that Issei met, by the way, her name is Asia. She used to have a sacred gear, but it got extracted from her. The extraction process kills the wielder of the sacred gear, so I resurrected her as a devil. Rias finished. Naruto's eyes widened as he cursed inwardly. This wasn't going according to plan. He was supposed to give a replica of the sacred gear back to the nun and improve his standing with the church. Now that she was a devil, his whole plan had been torn to pieces. I have to wait for Itachi now until I can make a move on the angels, Naruto thought. Is everything alright, Naruto-kun? Rias asked with a bit of concern in her voice. I'm sorry, I spaced out a bit. Naruto answered with an apologetic smile. So, is she any good as a bishop? Rias sighed. Since Asia lost her sacred gear, she lost her main power. So I got a Keno to teach her a few easy spells and to train everyone else a bit so I could make my time free for you. Rias said as she leaned her head on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto, surprisingly, felt himself not annoyed by Ria's actions. In fact, he didn't seem to mind it at all. Suddenly a question popped up in Naruto's mind. Say, Ria's Naruto started. Why did you want me to join your peerage? Riaz looked up at Naruto before she started smiling. It was because of you power first. It was such an amazing opportunity, I just couldn't let it slip. But then I started to find out more about you. And I actually have only one thing to say about you now, Riaz spoke in a soft tone as she placed her hand on Naruto's cheek and leaned closer to his face. And what may that be? Naruto asked. Riaz leaned in even closer until Naruto could feel her hot breath by his ear. You interest me, Uzumaki Naruto. She whispered in his ear. Suddenly the sound of Ria's ringtone was heard. Riaz sighed as she answered the call. Hello? For Lucifer's sake, what did he do now? Alright, I'll be there soon. Riaz said before hanging up. What happened? Naruto asked. Apparently there was a little accident during Akeno's training. Riaz answered in a rather annoyed tone. She turned towards Naruto with an apologetic smile on her face. I'm sorry Naruto-kun, I really have to go now, but I'm sure we can continue spending our time together later. Riaz said with her voice turning a bit sultry at the end. Riaz quickly pecked Naruto on the cheek and ran off. Naruto touched the spot where Riaz had just kissed him. Well, that escalated quickly. Somewhere in some fancy apartment, a rather tall man with black-brownish hair with golden bangs and a goatee was chilling on a couch, sipping some wine. You must be Azazel, leader of the fallen angels. A voice rang out from the corner of the room. Azazel lazily turned his head to see a black-cloaked man with an orange mask stepping out of the shadows. Want some wine? Azazel asked casually as he lifted up the wine bottle. Unfortunately, I didn't come here to drink. Madara said calmly as he sat down on another couch opposite to the one Azazel was sitting on. Azazel shrugged. Suit yourself. Azazel said as he poured himself another glass of wine. The two remained silent for a while. Madara was silently watching Azazel drink glass after glass. That was until Azazel broke the silence. So what does the great Uchiha Madara want from someone as humble as myself? Azazel asked somewhat jokingly. I see you actually know who I am. Madara stated, slightly surprised. Of course I do. You're the one that used Rainer-chan. I heard you scared her good. So what happened to her? Azazel asked as he took a sip of his wine. I killed her. Madara quickly answered, hiding the truth from Azazel. Azazel sighed. A shame. She used to be a good girl before she refused to follow orders. And I had wanted to give her boobs a last squeeze. Azazel then made a squeezing motion with his hand with a rather desperate look on his face. You seem to be quite interested by a woman's assets. Madara said, slightly amused by Azazel. Breasts are a beacon of hope for men, my friend. Lust is actually the reason I fell from the heavens. Azazel told Madara with a laugh. The question suddenly popped up in Madara's mind. How did you know I was the one who used Rainer? Madara asked, slightly suspicious of the fallen angel. Young devils run their mouths often, you know. Azazel casually answered, taking another sip of his wine. Naruto's brow furrowed under his mask. It seems Riaz was a bit too enthusiastic about her new bishop, Naruto thought. But enough of that. I assume you didn't seek me out just to chit-chat. Azazel said. Indeed. I heard you've done quite some research on the subject of sacred gears. But the one thing that caught my attention is your ability to artificially create and recreate sacred gears. Madara then reached into his cloak and revealed two small silver rings to Azazel. I was hoping you could copy this one from me. Azazel's interest peaked up. May I take a look? Madara nodded and handed over the sacred gear. Twilight healing, huh? This is certainly one of the rare ones, Azazel muttered before handing the sacred gear back to Madara. Can you do it? Azazel assumed an over-exaggerated thinking pose. I sure can. But what do I get in return? You get to keep your life. Azazel shook his head. And I was hoping we could keep this civil, Madara-san. But I guess there's one thing I want in return, Azazel said as he looked away from Madara. Spill it. Madara demanded. Azazel looked at Madara once again and smirked. I want you to fight me. Madara blinked. Do you have a death wish? Azazel laughed. Confident are we? I like that. I am just really interested in your abilities. Why don't we just have a little spar, no death battle of mass destruction, just a small spar to test each other. If I think you're good enough, we'll work together. And I certainly hope that the strongest bond of friendship establishes between us. Azazel said, still laughing. Madara sighed. Very well. I'll finish this quickly. Where shall we fight? Just outside town near a small lake so we won't scare all the poor people. Or is that offensive towards your kind? Azazel asked, slightly amused. I couldn't care less. Madara answered before using Kamui to warp himself to the location of the battlefield. Azazel closed his eyes and smirked before departing himself. Madara said nothing as he saw Azazel appear. The two just stared at each other for what felt like an eternity. Alright, no going full out and let's avoid killing each other. Azazel said as he started stretching, warming up for the fight. No promises. Madara said in response, having not moved a muscle since Azazel had appeared. Ready or not Madara-san, here I come. Azazel shouted. Suddenly, 12 black wings burst from Azazel's back. Azazel formed a light spear in his hand and flew at Madara with incredible speed. Madara did not move, completely unfazed by Azazel's attack. As soon as the light spear made contact with Madara, Azazel went right through Madara and almost crashed into the ground, if not for his wings pulling him up. Azazel turned around to see Madara still standing on the same spot, completely unharmed. What? How? Azazel muttered in disbelief. Had Madara gone intangible when he was about to hit him with his light spear? Come on, is that all you've got? For the leader of the fallen angels, you seem to be quite a disappointment. Madara taunted. Azazel smirked. Oh, I've got a lot more in store. Azazel flew up in the air, created multiple light spears, and started to throw them at Madara. Madara dodged each one of them gracefully, jumping high and somersaulting through the air. Madara noticed that Azazel was pushing him back to the lake. Madara jumped back high and knew that when he landed he would land in the lake. Azazel laughed. I hope you can swim, Madara-san. Azazel shouted in amusement. His amusement disappeared as soon as it came when Azazel saw what Madara was doing. He was standing on the water. Azazel's eyes were wide and his mouth hung open. Impossible. What are you, the next fucking Jesus? Azazel shouted, in shock and in awe. Madara said nothing as he started to rapidly go through hand seals. Azazel just rose an eyebrow as he saw Madara's hand move fast. What are you toy? Water dragon technique. Suddenly, a gigantic dragon made out of water rose up from the lake. The dragon opened its mouth and threw itself at Azazel. Azazel had no time to dodge as the water dragon hit him, dragging him back down to the ground. Azazel coughed a bit as he slowly got up. That was certainly unexpected. Azazel had no time to continue talking as a huge fireball came his way. Azazel swiftly dodged the fireball, watching it explode before his eyes. Azazel turned his head to see Madara standing a few meters away from him. Water and fire, huh? And the way you're using it, is this some kind of new magic I haven't heard of? Azazel asked with a smirk on his face. Madara chuckled slightly. Oh, trust me, this is a lot more special than any kind of magic. A bunch of shuriken shot out of Madara's eye and made their way to Azazel. Azazel quickly formed a light spear and deflected all the shuriken with it. Madara ran towards Azazel and engaged in hand-to-hand combat with him. Azazel didn't have much trouble keeping up with Madara's pace, swiftly parrying and dodging punches and kick, but he was annoyed that Madara seemed to see through every single one of his moves. His thoughts were interrupted by Madara's loud laughing. Now this is a good dance. I haven't been entertained like this for ages. Madara shouted, still laughing like a maniac. Dancing, huh? Well, Madara-san, I will tango with your ass from here and back to hell. Azazel shouted, also starting to really enjoy the fight. Azazel was about to grab Madara's wrist to drag him into the air, but phased right through him once again. As soon as Azazel had went through Madara's body completely, Azazel felt Madara's foot connect with his head. He was sent flying by the force of the kick and skidded along the ground. Let's take this to the next level, Madara muttered to himself. Azazel slowly got up from the ground, only to find himself dodging a rather large blade made out of some kind of energy. Azazel looked at Madara with wide eyes once again. Madara was surrounded by the upper body of a large skeleton. The skeleton held 2 blades and was surrounded by a black aura. Impressive, is it not? This is one of my more special abilities, Susanoo. Madara explained. Susanoo, what does it do? Azazel asked, extremely intrigued by Madara's ability. You're about to find out. Madara shouted. The skeleton started to rapidly swing around its blades. Azazel started to have trouble dodging them and got hit. He hissed as he looked at his now bleeding shoulder. Azazel flew up in the air so he wouldn't have to deal with the Susanoo's blades anymore. Your Susanoo is certainly impressive, Madara-san. But how are you going to hit me while I'm up in the air? Azazel asked with a teasing tone. Isaka Magatama. Suddenly Madara's Susanoo threw some kind of energy projectiles that were rapidly spinning towards Azazel. Azazel's eyes widened as he realized he had no time to dodge. The projectiles hit Azazel straight on and created a small explosion in the sky, making Azazel fall down to the ground once again. Azazel realized that he couldn't move. He was able to turn his head slightly and saw that Madara was approaching. As soon as Madara was standing next to him, he kicked Azazel's body slightly. Oh, come on, are you preying on the weak now? Azazel asked with a weak grin. Madara chuckled. I don't prey on the weak. The weak are simply not worth my time. To Azazel's surprise, Madara extended his hand towards him. Azazel's grin turned even wider as he grabbed Madara's hand and got up. This dance was certainly interesting. Madara praised. Will you be able to recreate the twilight healing for me? Of course my friend. The sacred gear doesn't have an extremely difficult build, so it'll probably be ready in a few days. Azazel exclaimed. Excellent. It is now time for my departure. I'm looking forward to working with you Azazel, and I hope the same goes for you. Madara chuckled as he disappeared inside the swirl of his Kamui. Azazel's grin threatened to split his face. Oh, you have no idea how much I'm looking forward to that, Madara-san. Naruto sighed as he looked up to the moon. A few days had passed and Naruto was once again disguised as Madara, waiting in Azazel's apartment for Azazel to return with the sacred gear. But Naruto wasn't thinking about that. His mind lingered somewhere else. He was thinking about Ria's. Ever since their little meeting, he couldn't get her out of his mind. Especially what she had told him. Naruto's advances on Sakura were mostly ignored and Hinata had just plain out told him that she had always loved him. But Ria's just said that he interested her and it confused Naruto to no end. Perhaps he should have listened to Madara. If he had kept his and Ria's relation strictly professional, he wouldn't have these thoughts haunting his mind. Sorry to keep you waiting. Azazel's voice suddenly rang out. Well, here's the finished product. Azazel walked over and handed the sacred gear to Madara. Madara took his time to observe it, noticing that it was an exact replica of the original Twilight healing. As I've said before, artificial sacred gears are always inferior to the real ones. This one will heal wounds slower than the original Twilight healing, which makes it less viable if you want to use it mid-combat. Azazel explained as he sat down on the couch. I see. Madara answered and hid the sacred gear in his cloak. Azazel. Madara started. Azazel lazily looked up to him before grabbing some wine. Since we're now working together, I was hoping you could provide me with some information. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm still not really well informed on the supernatural world. Of course my friend. Azazel exclaimed with a grin as he poured himself a glass of wine. So what do you want to know? Azazel-sensei will teach you. Madara cringed slightly when Azazel called himself sensei, but quickly regained his composure. I need to know some more about the devils in this area. Madara stated. Azazel took a sip of his wine. Well, there's two peerages that you should look out for. You've already met one of them. The kings of the peerages are both part of clans from the 72 Pillars, the most prestigious and important devil clans. And they're both related to one of the current Satans, the leaders of the devils and rulers of the underworld. Naruto's eyes widened behind his mask. He knew that Ria's was part of some important devil clan, but the fact that she was actually related to one of the leaders of the underworld was an entirely new discovery. He could now simply not afford to lose his connection with Ria's. Naruto sighed before immersing himself in his Madara role once again. Tell me a bit more about these Satans, Madara said. There's 4 of them. They gained their positions after the original 4 Satans died in the Great War. Azazel started as he downed another glass of wine. You have Surzich's Gremory with the title of Lucifer, you have Ajuka Astaroth with the title of Beelzebub, then there's Seraphol Citri with the title of Leviathan, and finally Euphalbium Glaciolabolas with the title of Asmodeus. Azazel finished. So Ria's is related to the current Lucifer. Naruto concluded in his mind. So what do they do exactly, besides running the underworld? Madara asked. Surzich's takes care of domestic affairs, Ajaku is in charge of the technology department and is also the inventor of the evil pieces system, Seraphol deals with foreign affairs, and Falbium deals with military affairs. Azazel explained. Madara nodded to himself as he leaned back. So what's your current standing with the devils? Azazel chuckled sheepishly as he rubbed the back of his head. Not very good. Rainer basically made a mess by disobeying orders and messing around with that Gremory girl, and then you have Kakabiel. Azazel said the name with a bit of disdain in his voice. You don't seem to like this Kakabiel. Madara stated as he leaned forward. He's basically the second leader of the Grigori, our organization. He's a warmonger and enjoys war tremendously. The man basically thinks that I'm defiling the Grigori by my interest in sacred gears and by letting humans who have them join us. He's actively seeking ways to seek war while I'm seeking peace. Azazel finished with a sigh. Well, you're not really seeking peace. Madara said, which made Azazel raise his eyebrow. You just sit here in your apartment all day, sipping wine and toying with sacred gears and wait for peace to magically come to you. This Kakabiel's goal may not be the brightest, but at least he takes action. You meanwhile do absolutely nothing. Azazel sighed before opening a new bottle of wine. I guess you're right. Interested in some wine? Azazel offered as he held out another glass. Yes, actually. Madara said as he accepted the glass. Azazel's eyes widened as he intently focused himself on Madara's mask. Madara slowly brought the glass towards his mask, using his other hand to grab the mask. He started to pull it up slowly. Azazel almost started to jump from anticipation. Madara then turned around, backing Azazel face his back. Madara downed the glass of wine and turned back around, his mask back on his face. "This wine is actually quite tasty," Madara answered nonchalantly. Azazel's eyes twitched at the fact that he wasn't even able to catch a glimpse of Madara's face. "So, Madara-san. You got your sacred gear recreated and we're now working together, what's the next step in your grand plan?" Azazel asked jokingly as he poured himself another glass and started drinking it. "I would actually like to meet with Kakabiel and maybe some other fallen angels." Azazel choked on his wine. "What? Are you insane? What do you wish to accomplish by that? Kakabiel will probably try to murder you or something, he doesn't even know that you're working with me." Azazel shouted. "Oh, what's this? Didn't Azazel tell his accomplices that he had a new partner like a good fallen angel would? Your mother would be disappointed in you," Madara said with a taunting voice. Azazel just grumbled something in response. "Fine, I'll tell you where you can find Kakabiel. But if you get killed or something, don't get sad if I'm the only one who will come to your funeral." Madara chuckled as he activated his Kamui. "Whatever. Just make sure that Azazel tells things like this to Uncle Madara next time. Because Azazel is a good boy, isn't he? Put a lid on it already, you bastard." Naruto sighed in satisfaction as he lied down in his bed. After having chased Rainer out of his bedroom, who had insisted that they should sleep together, he had immediately crawled into bed. He was really wanted some rest, preventing Azazel from getting drunk and keeping Rainer in check proved to be more draining for Naruto than he had thought it would be. Just as Naruto was about to doze off, he heard a sound in his room. Naruto slowly sat up straight and looked at the figure that had appeared inside his room. It was Rias. Naruto sighed in annoyance. "Look Rias, I'm really tired. So I think whatever has caused you to appear in my bedroom in the middle of the fucking night can wait for tomorrow." Naruto then proceeded to lay back down on the bed again. Rias however remained silent as she walked over to Naruto's bed. She climbed on it and started to straddle Naruto. "What the hell are you?" "Naruto-kun, I want you to take my virginity," Rias suddenly exclaimed. Naruto remained silent for a few seconds, an impassive look on his face. That was until Naruto's mind had processed everything and all hell broke loose. "What the fuck, woman?" Naruto shouted. "What kind of mental disorder do you have, breaking into my house and just giving your virginity away to me?" "Please, Naruto-kun." Rias grabbed Naruto's hand and placed it on her breast. "We need to do this quickly." Naruto roughly pulled his hand away, sat up straight and grabbed Rias by her shoulders tightly. Rias let out a small squeal in response. "Look, Rias," Naruto said in a stern voice. Rias did not know what to say, she had never seen Naruto like this. "I have two things to say to you. I can see you don't want this, so stop it already. The second thing is, I don't hate things easily. But what I do hate is when people lie to their fucking selves," Naruto said while gritting his teeth. Ria's surprised expression turned into a soft smile. "But what if I actually wanted you to have my virginity?" she spoke in a soft tone. "Wait, what?" The two were interrupted by a sudden light. A woman with silver hair dressed in a French maid outfit had suddenly appeared in Naruto's room. "Stop this, Rias." The woman spoke. "This won't help you." "What's with all the ladies breaking into my bedroom at night?" Naruto muttered to himself. "Grafia," Rias said. "We have to go now, Rias." The woman, now identified as Grafia, said. Rias sighed as she climbed off Naruto. She gave him a sad smile. "I'm sorry, Naruto-kun. But I guess this is tonight's goodbye." The two then disappeared by the use of a magic circle. Naruto gripped his head in frustration. "I don't fucking follow it anymore," he groaned. "For an evil mastermind, you sure let your feelings get in the way a lot." "Maddie-chan." Naruto exclaimed as he saw Madara appear inside his bedroom. "Where have you been all day?" "I was being bored. Despite the information you acquired during your meeting with Azazel, the situation that occurred just now was the only thing that could spark my attention." Madara answered casually. "Maddie-chan, what am I supposed to do?" "You simply wait until we can get along with the next step of the plan. If you let your feelings get in the way, there's no doubt you'll screw things up. This connection you have that Ria's girl will prove extremely valuable for us in the future. If you screw it up, you kiss peace goodbye," Madara stated. "But I'm still Konfu. What do I look like, some life counselor? I'm not here to help you survive puberty, boy. What happened to the cold-minded man who casually murdered someone who stood in their way? The man that manipulated people for the sake of accomplishing his goals? You're just a whiny child now who's getting himself all driven up by a girl. Once you're ready to deal with your problems and take the mindset of a shinobi again, we shall continue with our plans. Until that moment, you can keep bawling your eyes out on how confusing your feelings are," Madara said in a stern tone before disappearing. Naruto let himself fall back down on the bed again. "He's right, I need to get my shit together." Suddenly Naruto's door burst open. Standing in the doorway was Rainer, dressed in only her underwear and armed with a frying pan. Madara-sama. I heard some commotion and decided to check it out, are you alright? Rainer asked in a concerned tone as she ran over to Naruto's bed. Naruto sighed in annoyance and rubbed his forehead. I'm completely fine, Naruto muttered. I'm glad to hear it. Rainer said with a smile on her face. Hey, Madara-sama, Rainer started. Yes. Since I'm here already, can I sleep with you now? Oh, for fuck's sake. Naruto sighed as he appeared inside the occult research club room, where every member of Ria's peerage was already present. Rias had asked if he would be able to come by because she had something important to tell. Naruto threw a glance at Rias, who seemed to be avoiding his gaze. Naruto decided to sit down next to Kaneko, who was eating sweets once again. Naruto grinned a bit as he looked down at Kaneko. You really like sweets, don't you? Naruto asked as he rubbed Kaneko's head. To Naruto's surprise, Kaneko started to purr in response to his action. Issei had joyful tears streaming down his face as he witnessed the special event of Kaneko purring while everyone else sweat dropped. She reminds me a bit of Kuroka, Naruto thought to himself. But you. Why have you called us here? Issei asked as he rubbed the back of his head. Rias took a deep breath. I have something important to tell you all. Figured that much, Naruto muttered as he narrowed his eyes. Suddenly, an orange summoning circle surrounded by flames appeared in the room. A young man with blonde hair dressed in a blazer had appeared in the room. The man had a smirk on his face as he looked at Rias. Rias, my love. The man exclaimed, shocking most people present in the room. I assume you're ready to go back to the underworld. The man said as he walked closer to Rias. Riser Phoenix, Rias muttered with disdain in her voice. I don't get it. Who is this dude? Issei said as he pointed at Riser, only to be ignored. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Azazel had told him before that the Phoenix clan was also part of the 72 Pillars. But what business did he have with Rias? You know I still have no intention of marrying you, Riser. Rias stated as she glared at Riser. Marry? Issei shouted. Indeed. A marriage between Butchu and Riser-san has been arranged a long time ago, they're fiancés. Akeno explained with a smile plastered on her face. Her voice didn't sound too happy though. That's correct. But unfortunately, you have no say in this matter, my love. Riser said as he smirked at Race. You don't have to make such a big deal out of this, Rias. I'm sure you will look gorgeous in a wedding dress and even more gorgeous when I rip it off you, Riser said as he licked his lips. Keep on dreaming. I will never marry someone like you. Rias shouted in anger. Riser just laughed and shrugged with his shoulders. Just like I said before, you don't have a say in this. What do you want to do about it? Riser Phoenix, I hereby challenge you to a rating game. Most members of Ria's peerage looked surprised. Naruto and Issei, however, both looked confused. What's a rating game? Issei asked. A rating game is a battle between two peerages. Akeno explained. Issei's head turned towards Riser. So you're saying this dude has his own peerage too? Riser smirked as he snapped his fingers and suddenly a bunch of women appeared inside the room. This is my peerage. Riser. While Issei was getting pissed because Riser started making out with his queen, Naruto was thinking. He had seen that Riser had a full set of pieces in his peerage, instantly outnumbering Ria's. From what he heard as he observed the conversation further, Riser also had experience in rating games, while Ria's had none. Naruto knew that Ria's would lose. He could not help them in this rating game since he was not part of Ria's peerage. He had to prevent this engagement in some other way. Tell me, Rias. Who's this man? I can tell that he's no piece of yours, yet he's certainly more interesting than your pawn. Riser said as he turned towards Naruto. The name's Uzumaki Naruto, and I'm indeed not part of Ria's her peerage. I'm actually the only human here. Naruto said calmly. Riser smirked while Riser's queen, Yubaluna, started laughing. Oh, Riser-sama. Your fiancé must be extremely desperate if she works with a puny human. In the blink of an eye, Naruto had grabbed Yubaluna by her throat and lifted her up in the air. Riser was about to intervene, but Naruto had manifested the arm of his Susanoo and was using it to restrain Riser. Do you like it when I touch your woman in front of you, huh? Naruto said as he touched Yubaluna's breast with his free hand. Even though she was being held by her throat by Naruto, she couldn't suppress her moan. Naruto-kun, stop it. Rias shouted. Naruto released Riser and Yubaluna and sat back down on the couch again. Riser threw one last glance at Naruto before preparing his magic circle. 10 days, Rias. 10 days, and then you're mine. Riser and his peerage disappeared in a burst of flames. I'm leaving now. I have some things to do. Naruto said as he started to activate his Kamui. Naruto-kun, wait. Rias shouted as she ran over to Naruto and grabbed his arm. Naruto deactivated his Kamui and directed his gaze towards Rias. What is it? Naruto asked rather coldly. Please, Naruto-kun. Don't be upset, Ria started before being cut off by Naruto. Whoever said that I was upset? I simply have better things to do now. Good luck with training for your raiding game. Naruto said before disappearing inside the swirl of his kamui. Naruto appeared inside his bedroom. He saw that Reiner was lying on his bed, hugging one of his shirts. He smiled slightly before making his way to the closet, pulling out his black cloak and orange mask. It seems the shinobi is back. Madara said with a smirk as he appeared inside the bedroom. Indeed he is. I was thinking about what you said all night, Maddie-chan. And you're absolutely right, I need to keep my shit together. Ria's is valuable for our plans, and I can't afford to lose her to some spoiled punk. It is time to get to work. Naruto said as he started to put on the cloak. Madara's smirk started to slowly turn into an evil grin. Excellent. So what are we going to do now? Naruto turned towards Madara, his Sharingan already activated. We're going to pay Azazel's friend a little visit. Naruto, now disguised as Madara once again, was standing in front of a large abandoned building. He slowly walked inside, following the sound of the voices. He now stood in front of a door and could hear the voices behind it. Oh come on. When can I try out all these new holy swords? A crazed voice asked. Patience. Soon enough that bastard Michael will notice what we have been doing, and with that incident that happened in that cathedral back at the Vatican, there is no doubt that I will be able to begin a new war. Finally, I will show everyone that the fallen angels are the superior ones. But will I get to kill someone? There was no doubt about it, this Kakabiel matched Azazel's description perfectly. Madara kicked open the door and walked inside the room. He saw a man with white hair dressed in some clerical clothing standing in the middle of the room. The man looked at Madara like he was some kind of alien. At the end of the room, a rather tall man with pale skin, long black hair and red eyes, whom Madara assumed to be Kakabiel, was sitting on an improvised throne with a rather unamused look on his face. Boy, what the hell are you doing here? The cosplay party is somewhere else. The white-haired man shouted as he pointed at Madara. Madara ignored him and started walking towards Kakabiel. The white-haired man wasn't happy with that and pulled out his sword and charged at Madara. As soon as the man was close enough, Madara backhanded the man, making him crash into the wall. I assume that you're Kakabiel? Madara asked casually, now standing in front of Kakabiel. Who do you think you are, you puny human? Is it you wish to be annihilated? Kakabiel said in an angry voice. Madara ignored Kakabiel and looked him straight into the eyes, trapping him in a Jinjutsu. Kakabiel's eyes widened as he gripped his head, letting out screams of agony. Kakabiel fell off his throne and started frantically rolling around on the ground. Madara, or should I say Naruto, smiled sadistically under his mask. He walked over to Kakabiel and placed his foot on his chest, applying some pressure. Madara looked into Kakabiel's eyes once again and eased down the effects of the Jinjutsu. Kakabiel was now looking at Madara with nothing but fear in his eyes. Not such a big talker now, eh? Madara said as he started to apply more pressure to Kakabiel's chest, making him cough slightly. Unfortunately, I can't kill you now. But you have to understand a few things first. Stop it, Kakabiel managed to mutter. Madara laughed maniacally. Oh no, I've just begun. I'm not like Azazel, I won't take your big talk like it's nothing. You're my slave now. My bitch. You should be thanking every single deity that I'm even spending my precious time on someone as worthless as you. Is everything clear? Kakabiel weakly nodded. Naruto got his foot off Kakabiel's chest, making him cough and gasp for air. So tell me now, what is your big plan, Kakabiel? Madara asked. I was planning to start a new war. By stealing holy swords, I was hoping to invoke the wrath of the church. Kakabiel answered quickly as he slowly got up. I see. And what was this incident I heard you talk about just now? The cathedral was set ablaze in the Vatican. But it were no ordinary flames, they were black. Kakabiel answered much more calmly this time. He had seen terrible things after he had looked Madara in the eye, but he also had some strange feeling. Like he actually wanted to obey Madara. Naruto silently cursed under his mask. Damn it, Itachi. And I thought you were the subtle guy among us. Naruto thought. He coughed a bit and regained his composure. Mind telling me a bit about your little friend here? Madara said as he pointed towards the unconscious body of the white-haired man. That's Fried Selzen, a rogue exorcist. He was first involved with some other fallen angel with the plans of stealing some girl's sacred gear, but after his employer suddenly disappeared, I decided that he could use whatever worth he has for my sake. Kakabiel answered as he looked at Fried with a slightly disgusted look on his face. Madara sighed. So this was the exorcist that worked with Reiner. He started walking over towards Fried. Wake up. Madara said as he slapped Fried in the face. Fried grudgingly opened his eyes and coughed a bit. Fuck off, you dirty cosplayer, Fried whispered. Look, you disgrace to humanity. I'm your new boss now. I'm sure we can get along. I'll let you kill lots of things. Is that okay with you? Madara asked Fried like he was talking to a child. Fried's eyes brightened as an insane grin appeared in his face. Yes. I already like you, boss. Fried exclaimed as he stood up like nothing had happened. Madara patted Fried's head and turned towards Kakabiel. I'll return soon enough with your instructions. For now, remain dormant. Tell no one about this meeting, act like it never occurred, understood? Kakabiel nodded in response. I didn't really get your name, my lord, Kakabiel said with some fear still present in his voice. Madara chuckled as he started to activate his Kamui. I am your new god. I will bring peace to this world. I am Uchiha Madara. He then disappeared, leaving Kakabiel and Fried alone. Naruto yawned as he woke up. Today would be another busy day. He smirked slightly as he remembered yesterday's events. I can't believe Fallen are that easy to whip into submission, Naruto muttered to himself. Naruto heard a slight moan coming from his side. He smiled a bit as he saw Rainer cuddle up to his side. He had no energy to argue with Rainer over who would sleep where last night, so he just let her sleep with him. Good morning, Madara-sama. Rainer muttered as she hugged Naruto tighter. Yeah, good morning, Naruto answered absent-mindedly, his thought lingering somewhere else. Is something wrong, Madara-sama? Rainer asked with a concerned voice. It's nothing, Rainer-chan. Come on, it's time to get up. Naruto and Rainer slowly got out of bed. Naruto sighed as he checked his phone quickly. 12 missed calls from Rias. Naruto looked up at the ceiling. He had taken Madara's advice to his heart and wouldn't let his feelings get in the way of his plans. But he couldn't help but question his feelings towards Rias. He didn't even know her that well. Were they just still allies? Were they friends? Maybe they were something more. Naruto then turned his head to see Rainer getting dressed. He may have gotten her on his side by scaring the shit out of her, but he started getting attached to the fallen angel. So what's the plan for today, Madara-sama? Rainer asked as she hugged Naruto from behind. I'm probably going to. Naruto was cut off by the sound of the doorbell ringing. Naruto sighed and Rainer pouted a bit when she released Naruto from the hug. Naruto walked over towards the door and opened it. What can I do for you? Hello there, Naruto-kun. It's been some time, hasn't it? The person said, the corners of their lips tugged upwards into a small smile. Itachi, Naruto muttered. To Itachi's surprise, Naruto enveloped him into a tight hug. Do you have any idea how it feels to see someone from our world again? Naruto asked. Itachi's smile got slightly bigger as he returned the hug. I think I have an idea how it feels. Rainer-chan. I'm going outside. Don't destroy the house while I'm gone. Naruto shouted. Before he could get an answer, he had already slammed the door shut. Naruto turned towards Itachi with a wide grin. I guess we have some catching up to do. Naruto and Itachi were now sitting on a terrace, catching up. Naruto watched as Itachi devoured dango after dango, like his stomach was a black hole of darkness. I heard you caused quite the ruckus back at the Vatican. Naruto said with a smirk. Itachi sighed. It was horrible. I was calmly spying on some people and then two girls decide to mess everything up. I had no choice but to use Amaterasu. Oh come on. The great Uchiha Itachi was forced to use one of his strongest techniques on two little girls. Naruto said with a mischievous look in his eyes. Itachi stared at Naruto impassively. They were exorcists. I didn't exactly feel like fighting a girl with a holy sword and ruin a chance at getting along with the angels. Itachi deadpanned. Well, you actually still ruined the chance. You're now wanted by the church. Naruto deadpanned in return. Itachi shrugged before he resumed eating his dango. For a while they remained silent until Itachi broke the silence. Did you have any luck with the devils? Itachi asked as he took a bite of his dango. This time it was Naruto's turn to sigh. Yes, actually. But that girl has been driving me crazy for the past few days, Naruto muttered as he buried his face in his hands. Itachi smirked slightly. You never told me your girlfriend was a devil. Naruto blushed slightly and glared at Itachi, who had an amused look on his face. Don't give me that shit. She's not my girlfriend. Yet. Itachi added calmly. For fuck's sake, Itachi. Naruto-kun. A voice suddenly shouted. Naruto turned his head around and cursed when he saw who called his name. Rias and her peerage, all dressed in tracksuits, were walking towards him and Itachi. How fucking convenient, Naruto muttered. Hey, Naruto-kun. Rias said. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly, Rias seemed nervous for some reason. Hello, Rias, everyone. So why are you all dressed like that? Naruto asked as he looked over the members of Rias' peerage. We're heading towards the mountains to train for the upcoming raiding game. Rias answered. With some exercise, I'm sure we'll be able to beat Riser. Rias finished with a smile. Naruto, however, frowned. He wasn't that sure if Rias could win the raiding game or not. Had he been his old self, he would have encouraged her and told her that there was no way they could lose. But now he started to see things like they actually were. Then Itachi suddenly decided to butt in. "We could help you and your friends out if you'd like," Itachi politely offered. Naruto looked at Itachi like he was insane. Riaz turned her head towards Itachi and narrowed her eyes at him. "And who are you?" Riaz asked. Naruto cursed when he heard the suspicion in Ria's voice. How would he explain his whole situation with Itachi? "I'm sorry, I forgot we're not properly introduced yet. I am Itachi, Naruto's brother." Naruto's eyes widened to unbelievable proportions. "It is nice to meet Naruto's girlfriend." Ria's face went red. Oh, I see." Naruto slammed his fist on the table. "She's not my girlfriend, damn it," Naruto exclaimed. Riaz looked away, a sad expression on her face. Itachi just rose a brow at Naruto's behavior. Riaz redirected her gaze towards Itachi again. "I'm sorry Itachi-san, but you don't really look like brothers to me," Riaz said with a frown. "We get that a lot," Naruto said as he gave Itachi a friendly slap on the shoulder. The shoulder wasn't actually that friendly at all. Naruto had noticed that Itachi wanted to channel chakra towards his eyes, probably to cast a genjutsu with his Sharingan, but it stopped him. "Well, I accept your offer. Maybe I'll get to see a portion of your real strength, Naruto-kun." Riaz looked at Naruto with a playful smirk. Naruto grinned back slightly. "Off we go then." Riaz shouted as her peerage followed her in her steps, Naruto and Itachi keeping a small distance behind them. "Why didn't you let me use the genjutsu?" Itachi whispered. "It would be risky. Some devil magic she can use is equal to lower level genjutsu, she would have been able to see right through it. Besides, flashing your Sharingan in public isn't the best idea," Naruto whispered back. Naruto then smirked. "And the best liar in the shinobi world wouldn't need a genjutsu to convince someone, right?" Itachi smirked as well before the two of them closed the distance between themselves and Riaz and her peerage. Naruto didn't notice that Madara had appeared and was watching him and Itachi with a smirk. "Uchiha Itachi, how you certainly keep things interesting, Naruto." Naruto and Itachi were watching Riaz and her peerage train in a comfortable silence. Akeno was helping Asia out with some spells while the others were doing physical exercises. The two kept watching them for a while until Itachi decided to break the silence. "This is quite the spot, isn't it?" Itachi said as he looked up to the sky. Naruto nodded. Apparently, Ria's family owned quite the place up in the mountains. It probably served as some kind of hideaway from all the nasty devil business, Naruto had thought. Naruto sighed as he remembered that he would be spending the next 10 days here, it would slow down his plans. "So, how much do they know about your Sharingan?" Itachi asked, having already been informed of Naruto's Sharingan when they had been catching up earlier. "They have a decent amount of information, I would say," Naruto said as he continued watching the peerage. "They know what the base form of the Sharingan does, and they also know that I possess the Manjikyu." Naruto finished. Itachi frowned. "The Manjikyu Sharingan is a touchy subject, Naruto-kun. You should be careful when you're talking about it." Naruto grinned slightly. "Already taking the overprotective brother role?" he asked. Itachi smirked. "That is certainly necessary with such a foolish little brother like you." Naruto laughed while Itachi chuckled. Their precious little brother bonding time was interrupted by Akeno, who had approached the two shinobi. "Ara, it looks like you two are enjoying yourselves," Akeno said, her smile plastered onto her face. "We sure are, Akeno-san. So what do you need?" Naruto asked as he looked at Akeno with a small smile of his own. "Butchu has requested your help for training," Akeno said as she turned around. Itachi and Naruto followed her towards the group. "Yosh!" Issei shouted as he rubbed his hand excitedly. "So what are we going to do now, Butchu?" Issei asked as he turned his head towards Riaz. "We're going to have a few spars now," Riaz answered as she placed her hands on her hips. "You all need as much combat experience as you can get. That's why I need your help," Riaz said as she turned towards Naruto and Itachi. "I suggest we're having one-on-one fights." "That would be unfair for you all." Itachi cut her off. Riaz rose her brow at Itachi. "Are you underestimating us, Itachi-san?" "Nope, he's absolutely right," Naruto said as he placed his hand behind his head. "You're probably overestimating yourself, Riaz." Riaz frowned at Naruto's words. "I think you're getting cocky, Naruto-kun." "Well, if you two are really that confident, I say we have 2 3-on-1 matches," Riaz exclaimed. "Sounds good to me," Naruto said with a shrug. Itachi simply nodded. "Very well. Itachi-san, you'll be going against Yudo, Issei and Kaneko. You'll go against the rest of us, Naruto-kun," Riaz said in a playful tone. Before the two parties separated, Naruto grabbed Itachi by his shoulder and pulled him close. "I strongly advise against using your Sharingan," Naruto whispered in Itachi's ear. Itachi frowned at Naruto's serious tone. "Why? Just because they're not after me anymore doesn't mean Riaz won't try to get you in her peerage. They already know about my Sharingan, but they don't know about yours," Naruto answered. I'm not forcing you, but if you get in a shitload of trouble later, it's not my problem. Itachi sighed, but nodded. You shouldn't worry about me. I should probably worry more about you. Naruto didn't say anything, he just grinned in return. He patted Itachi's back and followed Rias, Akeno and Asia into the forest. Itachi sighed as he turned towards Issei, Yudo and Kaneko. He smiled weakly at them. Let's get started, shall we? Naruto and his opponents were now standing in a clearing in the forest. Akeno was smiling and had a small blush on her face, Rias had a serious look on her face, and Asia was nervously fidgeting with her hands. Naruto simply looked them over with a lazy expression on his face. So, why did we go so far from the others? Naruto asked. Akeno giggled and licked her lips. Because I can punish you without other people getting in the way, of course. Akeno spoke in a sultry tone. Naruto took notice of the rather dangerous glance that Rias sent towards Akeno. Ria's attention turned back towards Naruto as she looked at him with a stern gaze. I'll teach you not to underestimate us, Naruto-kun. Naruto smirked and activated his Sharingan. Then what are you waiting for? Asia, stay back and give us cover. Akeno and I will take him head-on. Rias ordered. Akeno and Rias then both spread their wings and started to fly above the trees. Naruto just looked on lazily until he was forced to dodge a small energy projectile that was heading his way. I'm sorry Naruto-san. I hope I didn't hurt you. Asia shouted in a concerned tone. Naruto growled as he resisted the urge to faceap him. You're supposed to hurt me, damn it. Naruto was then forced to dodge once again, now jumping away from a lightning bolt that Akeno had hurled towards him. Akeno moaned as her face became redder. Just stand still Naruto-kun. Akeno shouted as she kept throwing lightning bolts at Naruto, who kept on dodging them. Naruto hid deeper in the forest to make some distance between his opponents and himself. He frowned as he looked through the possibilities of dealing with the situation. Asia would be no problem to deal with, but Akeno and Rias would be. It wouldn't be a smart idea to start throwing around fire jutsus in the middle of the forest, and his other long-range technique would certainly be fatal. Naruto rolled his eyes as he lazily sidestepped, evading another magical projectile that Asia had sent towards him. Apparently, she was the first to find him. Naruto disappeared from Asia's sight. Asia started looking around frantically only for Naruto to appear behind her, knocking her out with a quick chop to the neck. Naruto picked up Asia's unconscious body and placed it against a tree. Take this. Naruto's eyes widened as he saw some kind of red energy coming towards him. He quickly activated his Kamui and disappeared inside his dimension. The red energy hit the trees that were behind Naruto, completely destroying the trees. I hope I didn't kill him, Rias muttered to herself, looking around the area for any signs of Naruto. Unfortunately for Rias, the swirl of Naruto's Kamui started to manifest behind here. Naruto appeared in the air and punched Rias. Rias staggered slightly and turned around, only to be met by a chakra-enforced kick to the face. Rias was sent flying towards the ground. It would have been a nasty landing if not for Naruto, who caught here. Rias weakly looked up, a bit of blood coming out of her mouth. Then Naruto. Sleep. Rias found herself looking into Naruto's red orbs. She felt mesmerized by his eyes. She felt her eyes closing slowly as a deep slumber claimed her. Naruto sighed as he gently laid Rias onto the ground. He rubbed his eyes. Genjutsu wasn't exactly his forte, and since Rias was immune to low-level Genjutsu, he had to pump more chakra into this sleep Genjutsu, but not too much since that would break control. Naruto then looked up to the sky, looking for his final opponent. So the hunter becomes the hunted. Itachi sighed as he evaded every punch that Kaneko sent towards him. He certainly didn't want to get hit by one of her punches, since he had seen the effect of them. So she has super strength, Itachi told himself in his mind. In the blink of an eye, Kiba had appeared next to Itachi. Itachi jumped backwards to avoid Yudo's sword. And he has super speed. Itachi's attention then turned towards Issei. So what does he have? Boy, pretty boy. Did you see Kaneko's boobs bounce when she was giving all those punches? That was a terrific sight. Issei exclaimed as a bit of drool dripped out of his mind. Kaneko blinked a few times, and Yudo just sighed at Issei's perverted behavior. Itachi nodded to himself. I see. So you're a super pervert. Itachi concluded. Why does everybody hate perverts? Itachi then closed his eyes and started channeling chakra towards them. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, but I think I know what's best for me. Itachi slowly opened his eyes to reveal his Sharingan to his opponents. Kaneko narrowed her eyes while Issei's and Yudo's eyes widened. Those are the same eyes Naruto-senpai has. Yudo exclaimed. Itachi's body then suddenly burst apart into a flock of crows. The crows flew up high, circling the air. Suddenly, a few of the crows flew down and started attacking Kaneko. Kaneko-chan. Issei shouted. Issei gritted his teeth and activated his sacred gear. Boost. Issei charged at the crows and started punching them. But every time he hit one, two more came into place. Soon Kaneko and Issei were trapped in between hundreds of crows. Udo frowned as he looked at the crows. Just hacking and slashing through them wouldn't work because he would be only making more crows appear like that. He had to come up with a plan. It seems your friends have some trouble with telling the difference between reality and an illusion. Udo turned around quickly only to get punched in the face by Itachi. The force of the punch sent Udo stumbling back. Udo quickly regained his footing and he thrust his sword through Itachi's chest. Itachi, however, dissipated into another flock of crows. It is futile, Kiba-san. I would suggest forfeiting. Itachi's voice rang out. It seemed like his voice was coming from every single direction. Udo looked up to the sky. His eyes widened as he saw what it had become. The sky was blood red. Udo started hearing voices in his head, images from the past flashing before his eyes. Udo dropped to his knees and let his sword slip out of his hands. I give up. Udo spoke in a shaky voice. In less than a second, the sky turned back to normal. Udo slowly turned his head to see Issei and Kaneko on the same spot where they had been fighting the crows, both lying unconscious. Udo turned his head back forward and met Itachi's gaze. The last thing Udo would see before he passed out were his eyes. Those blood-red eyes. Naruto whistled a tune as he walked through the forest. He had already dealt with Asia and Rias, so now only Akeno was left on the list. I wonder how Itachi's doing, Naruto said to himself. Ara, I've finally found you. Naruto slowly turned around to see Akeno. She was slightly hovering above the ground. Her cheeks were flustered and she looked at Naruto with a hungry look. Do you know how long I've been looking for you, Naruto-kun? I wanted to get you, but you just kept running away from me. This little hunt has really excited me, Akeno said in a sultry voice as she bit her lower lip. I'm sorry. Naruto said, not fully confident in his choice of words. Sorry is not enough, Naruto-kun. I'll have to punish you now. Akeno started to create more lightning bolts. She then started to rapidly throw the lightning bolts towards Naruto, smiling like crazy. Naruto, however, did not move. He calmly stood there as lightning bolt after lightning bolt phased through his body. After quite some time, Akeno stopped throwing lightning bolts. Naruto looked at Akeno and saw that she was now panting a bit, her face flustered. Naruto decided to use this moment as an opening. He appeared in front of Akeno and kicked her in the stomach, sending her crashing through the trees. Naruto appeared at the spot he had kicked Akeno towards. She was lying against a large rock, breathing heavily. I'm sorry, Akeno-san. I did not mean to hurt you that bad, but it was necessary. Naruto said with a frown on his face. The look on his face soon turned to confusion when Akeno started giggling. Ara. It's really cute how you worry about me. But your attack really hurt my legs. I can still move them, but I can't stand up, Akeno exclaimed in an overly desperate voice as she put a hand on her cheek. Don't worry, Akeno-san. I'll carry you. Naruto said with a smile. He walked over to Akeno to pick her up, but once he was in front of her, Akeno grabbed his head and shoved it into her bosom. Oh Naruto-kun, we don't have to go now. I still need to be punished for losing against you, Akeno spoke within a sultry voice as she gently struck Naruto's hair. Naruto, who was starting to enjoy the situation much to his own surprise, quickly pulled his head out of Akeno's grip. In response, Akeno wrapped her arms and legs around Naruto, still keeping him close. I don't think that's a good idea, everyone must be waiting for us. Naruto said, trying to wrestle himself out of Akeno's grip again. Akeno giggled as she started to stroke Naruto's cheek. I guess that's reasonable. But you'll have to promise me we'll have some alone time later, or we'll stay here, forever, Akeno said the last part in a sing-song voice. Yeah, sure. Now let's go. Naruto said quickly, before Akeno could change her mind. Once Akeno had untangled herself from him, Naruto picked her up bridal style. Akeno sighed in satisfaction as she buried her face in Naruto's chest. Maybe, Uzumaki Naruto. Maybe you're the man I'll be able to rely on. Naruto pushed the door of the mountain house open. He saw Itachi and Kaneko both eating dango, Issei, Udo and Asia were talking about something, and Rias was just staring into space. We're back. Naruto said, having everyone turn their attention towards Naruto and Akeno, who he was still holding in his arms. Ria's eyes widened as she saw the position Akeno was in and started to glare daggers at her. Issei's reaction was similar, only he was glaring at Naruto out of perverse jealousy. Akeno smiled at Rias while Naruto just rolled his eyes. Naruto laid Akeno down on the one free couch and sat next to her. Akeno immediately moved her body slightly so her head would be resting on Naruto's lap. So, what took you two so long? Rias asked in a deceptively sweet voice. Naruto gulped slightly as he sent a quick glance towards Itachi. Itachi just smirked and ignored Naruto's silent plea for help as he continued to share his dango with Kaneko. Well, our battle was quite the tough one, Naruto answered, hoping that Rias would buy it. Yes, it was very tough indeed. Akeno added. But Naruto-kun, you shouldn't kick me that hard in the stomach again. I'm sorry, is your stomach a sensitive spot or something? Naruto asked as he rubbed the back of his head. No, but it would certainly not be good for our baby. Baby? Ria shouted out. Damn it, Akeno. Naruto hissed. Idich gave an exaggerated sigh. Oh foolish little brother, how many times have I told you to use birth control if the time of the deed may come to you? Naruto glared at Itachi who gave an impassive look in return. Naruto stood up from the couch, making Akeno whine. I'm going to take a walk. Let's discuss the results of the spars when I'm back, alright? Naruto said in a tired tone. Ria's nodded alright, Naruto-kun. Don't take too long. Ria said with the slightest bit of concern in her voice. And don't forget our little promise. Akeno said with a giggle. Naruto just sighed and smiled slightly as he made his way out of the door. Those damn women, they'll be the death of me one day, Naruto muttered to himself. And blame you for being such a womanizer. A voice suddenly rang out. So you finally decided to show up, eh Maddie-chan? Naruto said as he turned his head towards Madara. You've never played the ignore card that long on me. Oh, don't be like that. If I had showed up during one of those pathetic dances of yours, you'd probably be whining about how I was being an annoyance. Madara said in return. Naruto shrugged. You don't have to worry about that, Maddie-chan. You'll always be an annoyance for me. Naruto said with a smile. Madara ignored Naruto's comment. So what are you going to do now you have finally escaped those devil's clutches? Madara asked. Albeit temporarily, he added as an afterthought. I'm gonna meet with Azazel real quick. Too bad I'll probably have to stay with him until it's dark, but he'll drink himself to death if I won't show up. Naruto said with an annoyed sigh. Naruto. Madara said sternly. Remember my words. I don't know how many girls are going to be bothering you or how many allies want to become friends with you, don't let your feelings get in the way. Naruto just grinned at Madara. Don't worry Maddie-chan. I have everything under control. So, what do you think about Itachi? Naruto asked. He's strong, that's for certain. But I don't think he will agree with your actions once he finds out. Madara answered with a frown. He doesn't have to know. As much as I hate to do it, I'll have to keep him in the dark about my business with the fallen angels. I hope that you know what you're doing. Madara said. Naruto frowned. I hope so too, Maddie-chan. I hope so too. Wine bottles. Wine bottles everywhere. That was Naruto's, who was now once again disguised as Madara, first reaction when he appeared inside Azazel's apartment. He looked at the couch and saw that Azazel was lying on it, a wine bottle in his hand. Oh, the boredom. Azazel yelled. Oh my dear Madara-san, what am I going to do without you? Azazel shouted to the heavens as he started drinking wine straight from the bottle. Well, we would have found out if I had stayed home, Madara said, amused by Azazel. Azazel shot up from the couch and threw himself at Madara's feet, clinging to Madara's waist for his dear life. Oh, thank the seven sins. I wouldn't have survived a minute more without you, Madara-san. Do you have any idea how boring today has been for me? I haven't heard shit from Kakabiel, who's such a loudmouth, and that son of a bitch Barakiel is probably at some S&M sex party. Azazel exclaimed while crying manly tears. Stop slobbering on my clothes, damn it, Madara growled as he pushed Azazel away. The two made their way to the couch and sat down on it. So what can I do for you today, my dear friend? Azazel asked with a grin. Well, my original intentions were to stop you from drinking yourself to death, Madara started. Oh, you care so much about me. Azazel said as he patted Madara's shoulder. But I might as well get some more information while I'm here. What does Azazel-sensei need to tell you today, young Padawan? Azazel said as he tried to look like a wise old man. Don't, just don't. But. No. Azazel pouted. Alright, fire away with your questions. Azazel said as he starting acting normal again, well, what can be seen as normal by Azazel's terms? I need some more information about the peerage of Ria's Gremory. Madara said. Azazel's eyebrows rose up. You want to know some more about Princess and her sidekicks? Well, they aren't really that special. Just tell me what you know. Madara demanded. Ria's is the little sister of the current Lucifer, as you may already know. The only pieces I have some significant and special information for are her knight and queen. Azazel said as he grabbed a glass and started to drink his wine in a more civil way. Naruto's eyes narrowed behind his mask. What could be so special about Akeno and Yudo? Let's start with her knight, shall we? Kibayudo is the only survivor of the so-called Holy Sword Project that was led by some dude by the name of Valper Galilei. Supposedly having escaped the clutches of the church, he was found on the brink of death by Rias and reincarnated into a devil. Azazel explained before taking another sip of his wine. Holy Sword Project, huh? Guess I'll have to look into that later. Madara said to himself. Now we're getting to the fun part, Azazel said. Ria's queen Himejima Akeno. Her mother was a Shinto priestess, nothing special right? But her daddy? He's a special one. Azazel then started to laugh a bit. You're making me shrivel with anticipation. Madara said, the sarcasm dripping off every word. Her father is my boy Barakiel, elite fallen angel. Naruto's eyes widened behind his mask. Akeno was actually half fallen angel. Didn't see that one coming, huh? But the story gets even more interesting. After Akeno saw her mother die in front of her, she grew an intense hatred for her father for not being able to protect her mother. But it gets even more fucked up. After finding out that Akeno had fallen angel blood streaming through her veins, the Himejima clan had wanted to kill her. The Grimoires intervened and took her in. Azazel finished. Naruto clenched his fist tightly, breaking his Madara persona. He had been reminded of how he had been treated as a Jinchuriki, how he was blamed for something he had no control over. Snap out of it. The real Madara's voice suddenly yelled. Naruto quickly unclenched his fists and took a calming breath. You okay? Maybe you need some wine. Azazel said as with a slightly concerned look on his face. No, I'm fine. Just some old memories passing by. Madara answered. Azazel shrugged, deciding to not push the matter. Well, that was all I know. Hope you enjoyed this lesson provided by the great Azazel sensei himself. Azazel exclaimed with a grin. How do you know all of this? Madara asked. Azazel gained a smug look as he started to twirl the glass of wine around in his hand. I have my resources. I'm sure you do. Madara then stood up from the couch, evoking yells of protest from Azazel. Come on, don't leave now. I'm sure we can talk a bit more, drink some more wine. Hell, we can even play some dating sims if you want. Azazel shouted. Madara chuckled and started to activate his Kamui. Don't worry. Because Azazel has been a good boy lately, Uncle Madara will bring a lollipop the next time he visits, okay? Yes. I've been a very good boy. So can you stay a little longer, I don't want to get bored again. Azazel pleaded as he reached out for Madara. If you don't accept the lollipop then I won't come by next time. You're playing really dirty games aren't you, you spiral-faced fucker. Itachi kept looking between Akeno and Rias, who were sitting on opposite couches. Rias was glaring at Akeno, while Akeno just smiled back. Itachi sighed as he continued petting Kaneko's head, who had now taken place on Itachi's lap. Whatever am I going to do with you all? Itachi said with another sigh. Feed me more dango. Kaneko said. Itachi narrowed his eyes at the small girl. You've already eaten most of my stash. And could you get off my lap before I get accused for being a pedophile? I'm back. Naruto's voice came from the hall. As soon as Naruto had entered, Rias had already made her way over to him and started pinching his cheek. What were you thinking? Going out so long. You left during the day and look how late it is now. Were you out buying drugs? Were you drinking? Are you seeing someone behind my back? Rias continued to interrogate Naruto until he pulled free of her iron cheek grip. Damn it, woman. Naruto shouted as he rubbed his sore cheek. Why do you even care that much about where I've been? Rias blushed and looked away. Because I care about you, I was just concerned. Naruto smiled. Don't worry about it. Well, I'm really tired people, so I'm going to bed. Guess we'll have to discuss the results of our little spars tomorrow. Naruto then started walking towards his bedroom, only to stop and turn towards Itachi. Nai-san. Itachi's eyes widened as he slowly turned his head towards Naruto, who was grinning. Let the damn girl of your lap, will you? You're not Orochimaru or something. Naruto said before walking off. Itachi just blinked before he started chuckling. Who's Orochimaru? Kaneko asked, still sitting on Itachi's lap. You don't want to know. But seriously, get off. Naruto sighed in satisfaction as he entered the room he would be sleeping in during the following days. It was certainly bigger than his own and had a nice king-sized bed. Naruto walked over to the bed and let himself fall on it, landing with his face right on some soft objects. These are certainly softer than my pillows, Naruto muttered as he moved his head slightly. Why thank you, Naruto-kun. Naruto slowly raised his head to see Akeno's face. He realized that those two pillows weren't actually pillows. Ara. You didn't forget about our promise now, did you? I decided to share the bed with you tonight, Akeno said as she hugged Naruto and started to nibble on his earlobe. Naruto's face started to turn red. Not that I'm not enjoying this, but I actually wanted to get some sleep, Naruto said. Too bad, we'll be doing anything except sleeping. Akeno whispered huskily in his ear. Naruto glared at the corner of the room where Madara had appeared. Madara was laughing like he had just heard the funniest joke in the world and was continuously shouting Uzumaki got whipped. And what do you two think you're doing? Naruto almost wanted to cry. That was Ria's voice. He turned around to see a very naked Rias standing in the doorway. Rias marched over to the bed, lied down and grabbed Naruto's head and shoved it into her bosom. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. I'll make sure that you can get some sleep. Ria said as she hugged Naruto tighter. Naruto wanted to protest but decided against it. It was actually pretty nice having your face shoved between a girl's breasts. I could get used to his. Naruto thought and quickly fell asleep. Rias and Akeno, however, were not sleeping yet. Why are you doing this, Akeno? You know that I'll start pursuing Naruto actively once I break off the engagement. Ria said with a frown. Akeno giggled and wrapped her arms around Naruto's waist. You're such a greedy girl, but you. Maybe I just want a piece of Naruto-kun as well. I won't share him. Ria said with a defiant tone. Neither will I. Madara, who had been watching the scene, had finally calmed down from laughing. He looked at Naruto and sighed a bit. Well, womanizer, let's hope you won't get yourself and our plans in too much trouble. Naruto woke up by the sun shining in his face. He groaned slightly as he opened his eyes. Ignoring the two other people that were basically crushing his sides, Naruto gained a thoughtful look on his face. I haven't been to school lately, he muttered to himself. Naruto's thoughtful look was soon replaced by a shit-eating grin. Not that I give a flying fuck about school. Naruto's head turned to his left side to see Akeno soundly sleeping, cuddled up to him. His arm was placed between her breasts and she was resting her head on his shoulder. Naruto smiled slightly before he turned his head to his right, meeting Ria's rather lustful gaze. Good morning, Naruto-kun. Ria's purred, did you sleep well? She asked as she rubbed herself against him. You have no idea. Naruto said. He actually didn't get much sleep at all, since Rias and Akeno were constantly moving and putting Naruto into rather uncomfortable poses. Ria smiled seductively. So Naruto-kun, since Akeno is still asleep, why don't we have some fun? She asked as she started to nibble on Naruto's earlobe. What kind of fun? Naruto asked with a slightly red face, actually fully aware of the kind of fun Rias wanted to have with him. Ara. I am also interested in what kind of fun you were planning on having without me. Naruto cursed his luck. Akeno had woken up as well and was looking at him with that sweet smile of hers. That's none of your business. Ria said in a firm tone. Naruto tried to escape from his bed but could only manage to sit up straight as Akeno was restraining him. Oh Naruto-kun, you wouldn't have any fun without me, right? Akeno asked as she fluttered her eyelashes. Well, you see, Naruto started only to be cut off by Rias. Of course he would. Naruto-kun would only have fun with me. She said as she wrapped her arms around Naruto's neck. Ladies, please. Then why don't we let Naruto-kun choose? Akeno asked. Naruto started sweating bullets. The two girls were looking at him expectantly. He was trapped. The sound of coughing turned out be Naruto's savior. Itachi was standing in the doorway with his arms crossed and his eyebrow raised up. Naruto sighed in relief, Akeno smiled at Itachi and Rias blushed slightly and looked away. Itachi just stood there in silence for what felt like an eternity. Then he finally spoke. You did use protection this time around, right? Damn it, Itachi. After Naruto, Rias and Akeno had dressed, they made their way to the kitchen. The smell of eggs invaded their noses. Naruto saw that Itachi was dressed in what looked like an Akatsuki apron and was making eggs. Where the hell did you get that apron? Naruto asked as he sat down at the table, Akeno and Rias sitting beside him. Got it for my birthday. Itachi said quickly, not taking his eyes of the eggs. Naruto just blinked a few times before resting his chin on his hands, waiting for breakfast. He ignored the strange glances that Akeno and Rias were exchanging. Soon enough, Yudo, Kaneko and Issei also entered and sat down at the table. In the blink of an eye, Itachi had placed several plates on the table. On the plates were fried eggs. Itachi quickly grabbed a cup of coffee and soon sat down himself, taking the head of the table as his place. Holy shit. These eggs taste better than anything I have eaten before. Issei exclaimed as he started to rapidly devour the eggs. Why, thank you. Itachi said calmly. Alright everyone, since we didn't have any time to do it yesterday, we're going to discuss the results of the spars now. Rias said, becoming serious. Rias turned her head towards Itachi. So how did your fight go, Itachi-san? I royally kicked their asses from here and back to oblivion. Itachi said with a straight face as he took a sip from his coffee. Naruto had trouble holding back his laughter while Ria's eye twitched. She turned towards Kaneko, Issei and Yudo. Is this true? Rias asked in a slightly annoyed tone. I wouldn't say that he kicked our asses, Issei started. Yes, he beat us. Yudo said, getting straight to the point. Rias sighed in frustration. Naruto grinned and nudged Rias in the side. I told you, but you wouldn't listen. We're way out of your league. Naruto said. No way. Did Butchu lose as well? Issei was shocked. He would have never thought that normal humans could be this strong. Let's get back to the point. Rias once again turned her attention towards Kaneko, Issei and Yudo. Do you know why you lost? Naruto had shut himself off and wasn't listening to Issei's shouts of how they almost won. Naruto's gaze turned towards the corner of the room where Madara had suddenly appeared. For some reason, Madara was looking at Naruto with an apologetic look. Naruto just rose an eyebrow at Madara's strange behavior and Madara quickly disappeared. Naruto-kun, Naruto. Huh, what? Are you even listening? It's time to talk about our fight. Riaz said. Naruto grinned slightly. Well, there isn't much to talk about. I whooped your pretty ass, didn't I? Naruto said with his grin still present on his face. Riaz blushed and smacked his arm slightly. Why don't you explain why you lost, Riaz? Naruto just continued rubbing his victory in Riaz's face. Fine. Riaz finally gave in. As soon as Riaz started talking, Naruto started spacing out again. What was up with the weird look Maddie-chan gave me just now, he thought to himself. Suddenly, Naruto's head started to hurt. His vision started getting blurry and he started hearing some kind of high-pitched noise. Naruto groaned in pain and fell off his chair, slipping into unconsciousness. Damn, that hurt. Naruto found himself in a very familiar sewer-like environment. He groaned a bit as he got up from the ground and dusted himself off. It actually worked. Naruto turned around to see Madara standing across the other side of the space they were in. Maddie-chan. Where the hell are we? Naruto asked in confusion. Madara chuckled. We're in your subconscious, Naruto. We're inside your mind. Naruto's eyes widened. Are we like, inside my seal again? Is Kurama here somewhere? Naruto's voice almost exploded with hope. If you're talking about the fox, I have yet to see him nor can I feel his presence. You see, since I'm basically bound to you like I'm sealed inside you. And inside your mind. Madara stopped talking as he scooped up a bit of water from the floor. I possess a physical body. That's really nice and all, Maddie-chan, but I don't think you knocked me out during breakfast just to tell me this. Madara laughed. Indeed I didn't. There's something I want. Naruto rolled his eyes. What? He asked in an annoyed tone. Madara smirked. I want to dance with you, of course. Naruto sighed. Look, Maddie-chan. Before Naruto could say another word, Madara had appeared in front of him and kicked him in the face. Naruto was knocked away and skidded over the floor. I won't take no for an answer. Naruto slowly stood up and wiped away some of the blood that leaked out of his mouth. Naruto activated his Sharingan and glared at Madara, who stood there with his arms crossed, his own Sharingan already activated. Without saying another word, the two charged at each other. Back in the actual world, Naruto's body had been laid down on a couch and was surrounded by everyone. Naruto was sweating, his body was shaking, and his temperature had skyrocketed. Riaz was holding Naruto's hand and was looking at his unconscious body with concern evident on her face. Riaz soon turned her attention towards Itachi, who was silently watching. Has this happened before? Why aren't you doing anything? You're his brother. She shouted as she gripped Naruto's hand tighter. Do I look like a doctor to you, Riaz-san? Itachi calmly retorted, effectively shutting Riaz up. While his face did not show it, Itachi was extremely worried. It was not the fever, neither the shaking of Naruto's body. Itachi had noticed that Naruto's chakra was constantly being channeled, like he was using jutsus continuously. Many thoughts raced through Itachi's mind. Maybe it had something to do with the Kyuubi. Was there something wrong with his chakra coils, or was he channeling his chakra subconsciously? Itachi's passive expression soon turned into a small frown. I hope you'll be alright, Naruto-kun. Naruto, however, was not doing alright. He and Madara were now facing each other in a fierce Taijutsu match. While Naruto had no problems keeping up with Madara speed-wise, Madara's expertise with the Sharingan gave him the edge. Naruto had tried to use Kamui at first, but he couldn't make himself intangible, nor could he travel to his dimension. It was probably because he was in his mind. Their stance is sloppy. Madara remarked as he jabbed Naruto in the side, making Naruto grit his teeth. Madara then suddenly stopped attacking and flipped backwards, creating some distance. Madara then made a single hand seal. High release. Great fire annihilation. A massive wall of fire spread out towards Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened as he was engulfed by the flames. Madara's eyes, however, narrowed. He knew that Naruto wouldn't be taken down that easily. Wind release. Great breakthrough. Madara was sent flying by the force of the powerful gust of wind. Madara gracefully flipped in midair and landed on his feet. He looked at Naruto with a raised eyebrow. It seems you've expanded your repertoire of wind techniques. Naruto smirked and charged at Madara once again. Madara sighed as he dodged the rather obvious hook that Naruto sent towards his face. In return, Madara punched Naruto in his stomach. Only for Naruto to disappear in a puff of smoke. The clone Madara muttered. Rasengan. Madara turned around to see a spinning ball of blue chakra coming close to his face. Naruto had a massive grin on his face. Once the Rasengan hit, Madara would be done for. Naruto's grin soon disappeared as Madara caught the Rasengan. The Rasengan started getting smaller and smaller until it had completely disappeared. Naruto slowly tuned his gaze towards Madara's face and met a pair of purple eyes. Shinra Tensei. An invisible force knocked Naruto back. Naruto quickly regained his footing and made his trademark hand seal, creating 100 shadow clones. Hold him off. Naruto commanded as he deactivated his Sharingan and sat down in a meditative pose. The clones started to circle around Madara, surrounding him. Madara, not even bothering to use any jutsu, started to tear through the shadow clones one by one, only using his fists. Just a little longer, Naruto muttered to himself as orange pigmentation started to surround his eyes. The sound of the clones popping echoed through his mindscape. As Madara finished off the last clones, he turned towards Naruto. Did you honestly think that mere clones would hold me? Madara was interrupted by a Senjutsu-enhanced Rasengan hitting him straight into the stomach. Naruto used his free hand to prevent Madara from getting pushed away and just kept pushing chakra into the Rasengan, making it tear through Madara's armor and preventing it from stopping spinning. Blood started leaking out of Madara's mouth and a hole started to form in Madara's stomach. Naruto finally let go of Madara and he was sent flying until he was stopped by a wall. That'll teach you, you motherfucker, Naruto panted, his sage mode now deactivated as he pointed at the now smoke-covered place that Madara had crashed into. As soon as the smoke cleared, Naruto's eyes met the sight of a laughing Madara. He was lying against a wall, the armor that covered his torso completely gone. The hole in his stomach was rapidly closing. You bastard. You almost killed me. Madara laughed maniacally. Damn, that's gross. But I guess it still has some perks having your best friend's face on your chest, Naruto said as he covered his eyes, not wanting to look at Hashirama's face on Madara's chest. Madara slowly stood up. Once he was standing, the humanoid form of his Susanoo started to surround him. The Susanoo started to form bead-like projectiles in its hands. Naruto quickly activated his own Sharingan again, his black Susanoo surrounding him. Naruto's Susanoo started to form shuriken-like shapes in its hands. Isakamagatama. Susanoo. Rasen Shuriken. The two attacks collided with each other, creating a massive explosion that instantly destroyed the two Susanoos. Once the explosion cleared down, Naruto and Madara were both seen lying on the ground. Naruto's body hurt everywhere. His clothes were torn, he was covered in blood, and it felt like every bone in his body was broken. Madara slowly crawled over towards Naruto. From this day forth, Madara started as he rose up his arm weakly. I will pull you in here and I'll train you. You're such a fucking hypocrite, Maddie-chan. Naruto said with a grin. First you tell me that I don't need training and then you suddenly want to train me. You still haven't mastered the powers of the Sharingan, your Taijutsu is disastrous and we need to get you some more elemental techniques. I refuse to work with someone weak. Madara explained. Naruto grinned once again. I almost kicked your ass. Madara scoffed but smirked slightly. Almost. And I was holding back. Now it's time to go, Itachi and those devils must be waiting for you. We'll talk later. Before Naruto could say another word, darkness had already claimed him. Naruto's eyes shot open as pain suddenly invaded his body. It felt like the attacks of the two Susanoos had clashed again and Naruto was feeling the effects of the explosion once more. The situation wasn't being made better by the fact that Naruto was being crushed by Ria's iron grip. Naruto-kun. Thank Lucifer you woke up, I was so worried. Ria's grip tightened around Naruto, making it difficult to breathe for him. Ria's, you're making the pain worse, Naruto managed to get out. It even hurt to talk. Ria's quickly released Naruto. She smiled a bit and wiped something from her eye. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Ria's eyes were slightly red and puffy. Were you crying? Naruto asked. I told you I was worried. Ria said with her smile still on her face. Alright everyone, go about your business. He needs some space. Itachi said as he started to push everyone away. And you're saying that you can stay? Ria's asked as she put her hands on her hips. Of course I can. As his brother, I have those kind of privileges. Once you two are married, you can stay together forever. Itachi said with a small smile. Ria's blushed and wanted to protest, but left the room nonetheless. Itachi sighed as he pulled up a chair and sat down, facing Naruto. How are you feeling? Itachi asked. Like all the Biju sat on me. Naruto groaned. You were channeling chakra most of the time you were unconscious. Do you have any idea what it could be? I absolutely don't. Naruto lied. He didn't think Itachi would like the fact that he got beat up by Uchiha Madara himself, not even talking about the fact that Madara was actually bound to Naruto. Itachi sighed again and pinched the bridge of his nose. Alright then. I'll continue helping the others from time to time, but you need to have all the rest you can get. Itachi then stood up and left the room, leaving Naruto alone. Well fuck, what am I supposed to do now? Naruto asked himself. He then laughed a bit, remembering how Azazel acted when he was bored. Need some company? Madara's voice suddenly rang out. You son of a bitch. Naruto growled. Perhaps you should mention that I will actually feel all the pain again when I wake up. Madara shrugged. I didn't see any reason to do so. Besides, the effect that fighting me in your mind had is only a one-time thing. Next time, it will be like before when you wanted to talk to the fox. Madara explained. Naruto and Madara were interrupted by the sound of footsteps. Naruto saw that Riaz had entered the room, only dressed in her underwear. Naruto sighed in frustration. Don't you need to be training with the others? I thought you needed me more. Riaz said with a smile. Riaz's expression turned serious. Naruto-kun, I need you to take your clothes off. What? I can heal you if we rub our naked bodies together. Riaz spoke in an extremely serious tone. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to convince Naruto. Don't come any closer, Naruto said slowly. Come on, Naruto-kun. Just take off your clothes. Riaz then completely undressed herself and walked over to Naruto. No. I don't want to. Naruto shouted as he tried to move away but failed to do so. Be a good boy now, Naruto-kun, you'll be rewarded. No, help me. I'm being sexually assaulted. As soon as Naruto had shouted that, someone burst through the window. It was Itachi and he was not amused. You're a real bastard, you know that. Naruto, now disguised as Madara, was once again hanging out with Azazel in his apartment. It had been a pain in the ass to escape from Riaz and the others since they had insisted that he would rest for a few days. He could not help but feel amused when he looked at Azazel, who was sucking on a lollipop. You should be grateful that Uncle Madara even thinks about giving you these divine presents. Madara said as he pointed at the lollipop. Azazel snorted. Divine, my ass. Do I have to leave again? Madara threatened. Azazel pouted and crossed his arms childishly. That's a dirty move, Madara-san. Madara chuckled slightly. Now let's get to business. I need some information again. Oh, Madara-san. It seems you use me like some kind of walking encyclopedia. Does our precious time together mean nothing to you? Azazel asked as he put a hand on his heart and wiped away a fake tear. Madara sighed. I'll take you out for some good wine instead of this cheap stuff if you tell me what I need to know. The sparkle appeared in Azazel's eyes. I'll hold you to that. So what do you need to know? Tell me something about these holy swords. Naruto had been interested in them since he had met Kakabiel. And since Kakabiel's grand scheme also involved them, he needed some more knowledge on the subject. There's two kinds of holy swords. All of them are extremely dangerous against devils. First off, you have those used by exorcists. They're easy to produce and are made out of pure light. The second kind is way more special. These are swords of legends, forged by God himself. Azazel explained. Then Kakabiel must be after these legendary swords. Naruto thought. If Kakabiel wanted to invoke the wrath of the church, then stealing swords from exorcists wouldn't help. Fallen angels could easily create light weapons themselves. Sword of legends, made by God himself, were a complete other story. There are quite a few of these legendary blades. Azazel started explaining again, knocking Madara out of his thoughts. Durandal, Excalibur, you name them. These blades all have unique abilities, but they all have a single requirement to be wielded. And that is, the one who wants to wield one of those swords must possess a large amount of light element inside their body. Azazel finished. Madara nodded. Maybe these swords would be useful in the future. Well, thank you for the information. I'm surprised you even know about most of this. Maybe you're really my walking encyclopedia, Madara said as he stood up and activated his Kamui. It was my pleasure. Now don't forget that we're having some wine later. Azazel exclaimed with a grin. Madara chuckled. Trust me. I won't. Days had passed and Naruto was now once again in the Grimory's mountain house, his bedroom to be precise. His training with Madara had been absolute hell, the old Uchiha was merciless with his methods. There were only 2 days left until the raiding game and Riaz and her peerage were training hard but Naruto saw that it was futile. Thus keeping my feelings out of this all is harder than I thought, Naruto muttered to himself in dry amusement. Everything had been going great. He knew that Riaz and Akeno were probably feeling something for him but he had managed to push it away. Even though he managed to avoid it, Naruto could not help but question his own feelings. He had never been in a relationship before and, even though Riaz and Akeno were basically throwing themselves at him, was still a bit clueless on the subject of women. Naruto sighed as he stared out the window. He didn't want Riaz to lose, he really didn't. But that Rizer guy had them outclassed and outnumbered. The thought of Riaz marrying that douchebag seemed to irk him more than he thought it would. No. He certainly wouldn't let her go. Not only was she valuable for his plans, she was valuable for him too. With newfound strength, Naruto walked out of his room. Itachi. You called? Itachi said as he suddenly appeared. Indeed I did. Naruto exclaimed with a grin. Itachi rose an eyebrow at Naruto's behavior, he had been quite serious after he suddenly lost consciousness that day. Would mind you doing your little bro a favor? Naruto asked. Itachi smiled slightly. Anything for my foolish little brother. Good. Then pack your shit, cause we're going on a road trip. Where exactly are we going? Itachi asked. Naruto's grin was now almost splitting his face in half. To the underworld, of course. A small distortion of space took place near the Phoenix estate. A swirl formed in the sky and out of it came two figures. Naruto and Itachi slowly made their over towards the estate, avoiding the guards. Naruto used Kamui to phase through the walls and opened the door from the other side so Itachi could get in. The two silently started their search for Riser's room. The estate was huge. It would take ages to find Riser like this. Suddenly the Sharingan-wielding duo saw a guard. How convenient. Itachi whispered with a smirk on his face. Itachi started to make his way towards the guard. Wait, what the hell are you doing? Naruto hissed, trying to stop Itachi. But it was too late. Itachi had grabbed the guard and was looking him in the eye. The guard muttered something and then fell down on the ground, having lost consciousness. Itachi nodded to himself and turned back towards Naruto. He's on the third floor. Naruto rubbed his hands in excitement. A grin made its way on his face. Riser Phoenix, I'm coming for your ass. What if Emotionless Naruto was in Highschool DxD? End here and thanks for watching my video till the end.